all alone.
Oh, I love Skies and Arcadians. By the way, yes, I am here. Sorry, I wasn't, I'm not there, because I missed it. Oh,
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
So Kofi, how do you feel about
Discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Hey. Final round. I already know how I'm coming, man. Yeah. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right out the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see this start crumbling now. Mad struck, start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they love how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP.
Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on Vitamin G.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dante Crisis back in the hosting position after the travesty that was last week. Now I will never steer you wrong. I will never let you down again. I will never let what happened last week happen again. I will never let Omar I will never let Omar ever host this again. Ever.
What happened?
Until daylight saving times happens again.
It may never happen again.
It happens every year, twice a year.
Have you not seen? Oh, never mind.
Daylight saving time?
Ours does not go. Our clocks do not change until the 27th.
Yeah,
US might get rid of it.
No, yeah,
No.
Our president is putting in legislation to get rid of it.
Not get rid of it. Make it permanent.
Yeah, you're right. So technically, but which is a good thing because in my area, people die when it gets dark too early, and people drive home from work and hit people on crosswalks. So I'm all for it.
Okay, right. But yes, it's your boy Dante Crisis back in the driver's seat once again, going full on Super Saiyan because, as the t-shirt says, I am always at maximum. Alright, so first of all, the boy who is, I don't know, somehow I feel like this is more accurate. The man who seems to be lost in translation, Kofi, is here. Kofi, what have you been up to, my guy?
Man, so I have to say it. We finally, as the Zero Field team, have announced that our fan translation spreadsheet / overlay program will be available on April 4th. You can basically go to zerofield.net to get all of the instructions. But at the same time, we're doing a huge giveaway between my account hosting one giveaway, my buddy Hansuke, and my other buddy February Night. There are 3 different copies or versions of the Kurono Kiseki game that came out in Japan last September that you can get. We're giving away DLC, physical collectible items, art books, tapestries. All you have to do is basically either go to one of our 3 accounts and see what the rules are, or you could just go to zerofield.net and see all the details there. Definitely really excited, and it's been great working with the team. And I gotta say, guys, September 2022, we've got another game coming out, and we're very excited to do the same thing all over again. But it also means that I have more free time. I'm back on Twitter. Literally just installed the app like last night, just looking at tweets. The shenanigans continue, and I'm ready for it. So, life has been good, guys. Oh, yeah, playing GT7 like crazy. Love it. I'm sure we'll get to that topic. And then Anno Mutinationem, which was the China Hero project that was announced an eon ago, finally came out on the 16th. I love it. The character art models remind me of Xenogears. That's just like the vibe I kind of get from the game. I didn't realize what I was getting into, even though I was excited. I thought the game was going to be like Mega Man Zero. Like you hop in, you're going to slash the people through the level. And I'm like, all for it. But this game has a little more world building to it, and I think that's like what I'm looking for in these types of games. Like to me, a Mega Man Zero with more world building and exploration is for me. I know that's not for everybody, so that might offend people. But it combining those two things and giving me like a story and background, it's just great. Love it. So having a good time.
Thank you, Kobe, for reminding me to add that to my wish list. Wait for that to go on sale. The Mega Man collection.
The Mega Man collection?
Yeah, you could buy like all the Mega Man games.
Yeah, I own the Zero collection.
Yeah, there's multiple collections.
Yeah, it's good.
Hold on, I got them in my Steam library. But first of all, gentlemen, please join me in a round.
They are on sale.
Yeah, probably. We're getting close to the spring sale.
Yeah, they got the Legacy collection, Legacy 1 and 2, and then they have
so there's the Mega Man Legacy collection, which is all the games up to 10 or 9. Then there's Mega Man 11. Then there's the 2 Mega Man X collections.
Right.
Yeah, so this one has
Mega Man Zero collections as well.
This sale has the Mega Man Legacy collection, Mega Man 11, Mega Man Legacy collection 2, Mega Man Legacy X collection 2, X collection. So it has like all of them.
Yeah, and I already own them. But gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for Kofi, not only returning to Twitter, but to him and the team getting this translation done. Join me in the round of applause, please.
Appreciate it.
I was wondering why he came back to Twitter. I knew it was an ulterior motive. It had he doesn't love you guys on Twitter. He loves his Famitsu people. He does not love his gaming people.
But not just that.
You guys know.
It's not just that. But he had to come and see what all this GT7 slander was all about.
But what I'm saying.
Oh, see, here's the thing: the GT slander has chased me into where I was. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that there's a group of gaming people that there's the general gaming audience. You hate them. You like the niche Famitsu audience. If they don't follow your translations, F them.
Yep.
If you're not part of the Church of Trails, Kofi don't bang with you.
Alright, well, seeing as you can't stop talking, Pharaoh, give us your intro, my guy.
It's your boy Pharaoh. Lately I've just been playing a bunch of miscellaneous games. Me and my kid played this human falling game. Just got done playing I Am Fish. Played a little bit of Dragon Quest Builders. A lot of kid time lately, not a lot of adult time. I thought I was gonna beat Scarlet Nexus this weekend, but it was my son's birthday party this weekend. Kofi was there. And then we had like 50 people at the house, it felt like, so that was squashed. All my gaming time got killed this weekend, so it is what it is.
Fair enough. And Omar, tell me, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I'm at the final boss at Anima. The second one, I dropped it for a bit. I started Scarlet Nexus. I'm loving the game. I'm definitely going to say
it's a wonderful game. I'm glad I didn't rush through it. I'm glad I took it slow through the game. And now that Funimation and Crunchyroll are one company, I think they mixed their libraries together recently.
No,
I think I can actually watch the show.
It's more that Funimation is being dissolved.
Yeah, but I'm saying recently they added the Funimation everything that wasn't in Crunchyroll. They added it in recently, I believe.
So I wanted to watch the show, but the only reason I didn't do that is because I didn't know how different it's going to be from the game.
You're supposed to watch it while you play it. It's meant for you to watch it while you play it because there's codes in the show that you're supposed to put into the game.
I looked that up on internet. I didn't want to get spoiled by watching the show. And at the very end, it was not that rewarding. I like what they did. It reminded me with Infamous Second Son. They did the same exact thing. but instead of a show, they did it with internet website. Other than that, yeah, no, I'm loving Scarlet Nexus. Can you believe it? There are people that skip the cutscene in this game.
Yeah, the
Um,
So
cutscene
you can't
was-
skip. You can't skip these cutscenes. They're really good. The conversations, the relationship building with the characters is really good.
It's insane. Rihanna's story is fantastic. I'm loving every single second of it. The voice acting is great, and oh man, between the Tunnel DLC coming tomorrow, and between Friday, Ghostwire Tokyo. Dude, I need to
Ghostwire.
clone myself.
Wait,
Ghostwire,
Ghostwire is this Friday?
Thanks.
Yeah,
Shit.
I
Yeah.
genuinely need to clone myself for this game. I can't.
I
Like,
Okay, side note about Ghostwire. Seeing as they're shutting down the Bethesda fucking launcher, thank Christ. I swear to God, if I get my physical fucking copy and it's a code for the fucking Bethesda launcher, I'm going to yell at Bethesda on Twitter. They're not gonna read it, but it'll make me feel better.
so yeah, does anyone have any cloning machine hanging around?
No, but I could split you. I could use my katana and cut you in half. I mean, it's all two birds with one stone. There'll be two of you to do whatever you want, and I get to take my frustrations out. But no cloning technology, unfortunately. All right, and Zero, I see you there. You give us your intro, my guy.
Oh, and for Zero, congratulations! Nintendo finally invented something called folders in the
I
Switch.
just saw that.
What?
Yeah, congratulations! It only took them 5 years.
Wait, what did they do, Zero? Please.
Oh, we have
They invented folders.
Folders.
Switch.
But they still have yet to invent wallpapers.
I mean, to be fair, I think only Xbox is the only people with wallpapers currently.
Or
right,
no,
you
PC
right.
has wallpapers, motherfucker. I'll have you.
You
know.
guys don't count. That doesn't count.
Yeah, and not being able to fucking install my games onto an SSD, which will probably and most definitely will run faster than the fucking flash drive that handheld has. Yeah, can we get that anytime soon, please?
You can't install on the inserted port the SSD.
No, but I've been able to find. No,
I mean, not the SSD, the SD. I'm sorry.
not that I've been
Yeah,
able
it's
to
just
find.
the SD. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, on the other hand, what you will get is like just pop in a game and be able to play it day one. No
Yeah, with
patches.
PlayStation,
no
you can do that
updates.
as well.
That's debatable.
Is that yeah? That's debatable.
No, for the most part, you can.
For the
You can
most
skip
part.
on
Oh, wait.
day
See,
one.
here's the
Yeah.
difference. You live in for the most part. I live in basically all the time.
All right, ladies, put your dicks away. Give me your intro.
I'm in playing the world's greatest shooter currently, and that is obviously Destiny 2. It is absolutely fantastic content. Probably the best Destiny has been since The Taken King, which was Destiny 1. So probably the best this game has been since Destiny 1. I've beat the raid a bunch of times. The raid is fantastic. The raid boss is the most unique raid boss we've had so far. It's just an absolute blast. So good on Destiny for finally like getting it right and getting up to the spot where they needed to be. And making that work. Of course, never stop playing Elden Ring. I literally just hopped off of Elden Ring to come here and do the show. I'm about 30 hours in. I don't particularly know where I am. I think I've only beaten 2 of the quote unquote main story bosses.
Have you killed Godrich?
Yes.
Okay.
Godric was the last one I killed, yeah.
Quick question. So how many bosses would you say you have beaten?
Oh god. It's got to be somewhere around 10.
Right. So you know how because I think I've beaten like more than you at this point, but
And I would say you're counting like because there's the the boss.
The
Yeah, and then there's
Catacomb.
sort of yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm counting all of them. Because they are all effectively the same thing.
Exactly.
you know how every boss has a fucking AoE where they are a big giant 360 sweeping attack where they'll just fucking flail around and hit everything around them, or they'll just cause a big giant shockwave that will take half your health. Yeah, get used to that. That's every fucking boss fight in the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. That dragon was like that. Godric and Morgott was like that.
Fuck Godrich. Fuck him.
The elder tree thing was like that. The tree sentinel, actually, I think he did have a sort of AoE attack.
No, he did. When he jumped in the air and slammed his shield on the ground, that's an AoE.
Oh, there's one. I just beat him today. I don't think he has AoE. He's all the way to the south of the map. You have to like walk into this little portal and then you fight him. It's like a circle. And
I know which one you're on about. Hold on. Is he a motherfucker on all fours with...
yes, with like a hooked blade.
Yeah, no, that's why I turn around and say all bosses have AoEs or 360 sweeping attacks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does have the 360. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Or they have
so
both because they're cunts.
Yeah, I'm working it out. I'm still running my sort of Maze Hughes Roy Mustang build, so my fire snap is basically my go-to attack. So instead, my sword is pitifully terrible.
That sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah, like, they have so many amazing builds for that game. Like I'm like on Twitter and I see people doing their thing, like Kamehamehas and all types of shit. I'm like, oh man.
Hi, I mean, Roy Mustang, one of the best anime characters ever.
Damn right.
Yeah, essentially, Kofi. There is.
Man, I was watching Brotherhood like last weekend after the show.
Yeah.
And they have some clips in there that you can like just like take out like the 3-second clip and like they're like hilarious, like for memes and stuff.
One of the greatest animes out there. But yeah, it's basically a fire snap. Other than that, I finally got to sit down and play Kirby, the demo. Which is quite delightful. Surprising.
Kirby?
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
Kirby in the Forbidden Land.
Yeah. 3D Mario with Kirby.
Yeah, with Throat Goat mode, and all of the fun things that come along with that.
Is it really called Throat Goat? Because if it is,
oh my god,
what's it called?
That'd be hilarious.
It's like it's either Big Mouth mode.
I mean, that would be amazing marketing, Kofi. You can't.
I mean, it's something. I mean, it's very clear, like because they've decided instead of Kirby just eating things and absorbing them, he just
you put a T-shirt with Kirby on there.
Oh, I'm sure it's coming.
Throat Goat on it.
It's
get a Kirby T-shirt and put Throat Goat.
I promise you, the next convention anyone goes to, it will be there. But it's a really good game. It's surprising. It's not an open world game though.
I'm about to start selling them until Nintendo shuts me down.
Which was the, I guess, problem, or I guess that's what the assumption it was at the beginning. It's not an open world. It's a bit more linear than it presented itself. Or actually, it didn't present itself to be anything. It's a bit more linear than people assumed it to be. But it's a Kirby game through and through. It's not terribly difficult. It has some challenges, but it's still a solid game.
Cool. And Mr. Always Late, Jubei, what have you been up to, my guy, aside from today's frustrations?
Yeah, playing Sea of Thieves with you earlier. That was fun until it wasn't. I finished Tunic 100%. Great game.
Better than Death Door?
I wouldn't necessarily say better. They're pretty even in my book.
Which one's harder?
Huh?
Death's Door or
Tunic's way harder than Death's Door.
Really?
Okay, good.
Oh no,
I've played Death's Door.
Yeah, it's way fucking harder.
Okay, good. Death Door is
some of the combat in Tunic just makes you be like how it's like how are you gonna hit me like with like a single strike and then like 4 like AoE effects like back to back to back to back, like you're gonna fucking take damage. There's no way you can.
That just sounds like me playing Elden Ring.
So, is there any secret bosses in Tunic?
Secret bosses.
No. Like game bosses, something like that.
No.
To look forward to.
Really.
Okay, so all in game. Gotcha.
Yeah, so There's no secret bosses or anything like that. There are a bunch of secrets to discover, but no secret bosses.
Yeah, of course. In the game, everything got secret.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't tell you how to do shit either. So,
Jube, would you like to explain why? Because I feel like that might need a little expansion on when you said that we were playing Sea of Thieves and it was really fun until it wasn't. Do you just care to expand a little on that?
oh yeah, so we were in the middle of doing a fort, and I guess this was a higher difficulty fort than normal because there was a fuck ton of loot at the bottom of that fort, and the last guy we needed to kill to get the key ended up glitching underneath the fort where all the loot was, so we couldn't kill him, and we kept trying to figure out ways to. Oh no, it was not my fault.
It was nobody's fault. We don't know what the fuck.
It just fucking happened,
because the boss the fuckers go underground and then pop up elsewhere. He just happened to go into the ground and then pop up into this fucking area with all the loot that's inaccessible.
Yeah, without a key, which he has. So we were trying to devise a way to get him to despawn and come back out, and it didn't work. And then we ended up getting griefed by another party. And they sank us, came back, tried to get revenge, sank us again. So like I said, it was fun until it wasn't.
So that was Jube's fault.
That one, no. That one was Media's fault.
Yeah, it was one of his buddies' faults. It's like why?
So you weren't the weak link this time.
No.
Last time I watched you were the weak link. You killed Dante.
Yes, that got highlighted when you blew me up, Jube.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I highlighted it.
Oh, fuck off.
there is video evidence that you blew me the fuck up and then laughed about it afterwards.
I did laugh about it, but nah, your homeboy was just indiscriminately hitting them barrels, yo. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
We could have used those to take down the last two fucking bosses, but no.
We can't have fun. We cannot fucking have fun. All right. Anything else for your intro?
No. Play Tunic if you like classic Zelda games and like being frustrated and like not knowing where to go.
All right. Cool. As for myself, I've actually been playing Halo 4 Spartan Ops, which it's fucking difficult. We're playing on it on heroic, but Jesus Christ, that loves throwing fuck tons of enemies at you in small areas. There is no way to avoid shots. You are going to fucking die. And to what I've been told, the original release of this game had a life system.
Yes.
So it's okay, no, this game was made to punish you. So this was the difficulty run. It's really fun regardless. Just find it funny that the cutscenes are all about Team Majestic, while we play as Team Crimson. It's we're the ones who are getting all this shit done. Why are the cutscenes about us? Still a better fucking story so far than fucking Halo 4's actual story, which is sad and way better than 5. I finished Space Hulk Deathwing, which was fun and frustrating in equal measures, but it was still fun. Played and completed Metal Slug 3 in one session, which will be coming soon. That means I've done all the PC Metal Slug games, 1, X, and 3. 3 was a lot of fun. Then I started playing a game that I never thought I would actually be able to fucking play, and that is a small little expansion that people don't know about called Half-Life DK, which is a exclusive PlayStation 2 campaign on the PlayStation 2 Half-Life game. It's fucking great. I've been able to play it co-op with a friend of mine, Net, and it's been amazing. Aside from that, was playing some Sea of Thieves, which you can check up on my channel now because I'm keeping my multiplayer streams up from now on. So if you ever want to check out the fucking shenanigans, you can just go and check on there. More Shin Megami Tensei 5, GTA San Andreas, which is probably about 2 streams away from being done. Elden Ring and Dragon Age 2, which the more and more I play Dragon Age 2, I don't understand why this game gets hate. I fucking don't understand it. The game is a good game, and it's way more balanced than Dragon Age Origin. I really feel like people gave that game a hard time when it came out, and have way too big nostalgia glasses on. I am talking like fucking comically large spectacles on when it comes to Dragon Age Origin, because that game is not balanced well. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. So let's get some love to the chat for everybody showing up. What's up, Amadeus? Thank you for showing up. Someone of non-importance is also here. And what up, Dragon Yobi? What's good, my man? And Stanley, what's good, my man? And I didn't, unlike FC, I didn't fuck up anybody's name. Yes, fucking score one for me. So yes, first thing we're going to talk about, brief overview, brief little thing for it. PlayStation has purchased another up-and-coming studio in Haven. Now, Haven haven't actually released a damn game. There is no game. There is no game. They are releasing their game very soon. They are releasing a new... their debut game is coming out soon, but they do have some interesting talent behind them. So, the lead... the development team is led by the Assassin's Creed, Star Wars, and Google Games veteran Jade Raymond.
And apparently she also worked on Metal Gear Solid 3.
Undoubtedly.
So, is the game actually coming soon? Because if the game is coming soon, that makes me curious as to whether whatever she was working on with at Google, when they decided to close it down, they let her take that with her.
I feel like it's not coming out this year.
It's not. I don't think it's coming out this year.
It's coming out 2022.
Maybe next year?
But
Because we have not seen anything. Not a shred of gameplay. Go ahead, though.
But what has been confirmed is that it is the dreaded live service game.
Yeah. It's a little confused.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's dreaded, but it's missing from Sony's catalog of first party.
What do you mean by that?
They don't really have a lot of, typically live service is associated with multiplayer. And that's kind of something
I'm going to tell you right now, by the time this game comes out, there's probably going to be more live service games. So that statement, I believe, is going to age like milk.
Yeah.
That's why they bought, that's why they bought Destiny and, all that other stuff so that they can have that, so that they can expand their catalog to include some more things.
I think you should also be very specific when you say first-party live service games, like exclusive live service games. If you take third-party into consideration, they're just as plentiful as fucking Xbox and PC at this point.
This move seems to be strictly depth focused. Like they literally built this studio from the ground up. If you think about it,
no,
they gave a lot of money to.
They funded it. They funded it.
So they gave a lot of money, and then they gave money again. Like that.
There was. It follows Sony's initial investment in the studio in March. We don't know how much that was. It was an investment. So
they invested in her. They allowed her to make use of PlayStation. What's called not dev kits. What's called like for example, what Gorilla did to Kojima. They gave them the Decima engine. They allowed Haven Studio to work on any engine they want. Like this is why this is not a shocking, not a weird move. It makes sense. But if I was PlayStation, I would have picked up Ember Lab first.
See, here's the thing. The reason why I don't feel like it's an obvious thing is because if it's as obvious as it is with all that you've just said, why has Kojima Productions not been bought by them?
Can you
I don't
repeat
think
that?
he wants to be bought.
No, but that's my point. Like, clearly they...
Can you repeat that?
I said, if you're using all of these as points that it's obvious that they were gonna get purchased, then that could be counted and said, then why hasn't Kojima Productions been bought by PlayStation yet?
Because Kojima doesn't want to be bought by anyone.
Exactly.
He's enjoying his freedom.
Exactly. So clearly, Haven wanted more financial security. Like, the investment was a nice thing to get them going, but then they probably realized, oh, no, we like that. We want more of that, so we're going to allow you to buy us out.
Or they may have needed more money.
I need that money.
From the look of it, what PlayStation has seen as them, it's clearly enough for them to not only invest them but buy them out.
Yeah, it's called a live. It's called they're making a live service game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're making a multiplayer game. So,
it's a cheap.
If it is a multiplayer game, are you going to play it? I doubt it.
It's
a sci-fi game. I need to see what it is because I'm not.
You don't play multiplayer games though. If it's multiplayer, you're not going to play.
I played Borderlands. It depends on what. I played the first Destiny. I played the second Destiny.
There is a big difference between. Okay, here's the problem with that statement, and I don't want to. I'm not dragging this out because I did want this to be a passing thing. But the difference is, Omar, when you play Destiny, do you play the Crucible?
No.
Then you don't play multiplayer games.
Exactly.
You don't play.
I did play Crucible in the first
cooperative multiplayer. You don't play competitive multiplayer.
No, but he never said about competitive multiplayer, though. We were talking about multiplayer in general.
When people say okay, then Jubei should be more specific. So Jubei, lesson for the future: be more specific, motherfucker. But when people typically say multiplayer, in the immediate thought, if you are straight-minded, is competitive multiplayer. When anybody's talking about a cooperative multiplayer, they usually just say co-op.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, even Crucible, I played it in Destiny 1. That's how I got my one of my legendary. You needed to get a certain amount of wins, 100 wins or something like that, to get that legendary. But other than that, I'm gonna wait and see. Like with Starfield, I have no idea what this game is about. I need gameplay. Without gameplay, I can't form an opinion.
I could understand that, but I feel like you owe Jubei's point. If this is a live service game, this is most likely moving towards a competitive live service game. That's something you would not be interested in.
Yeah, then I'm not interested in.
Alright, there you go. But yes, congratulations to Haven. I'm glad that you sold your soul. So anyway.
I mean, I wish I knew what this game looked like. They was just like, here's a bag. I haven't seen shit from this.
We'll see it at their.
I haven't even seen no concept art from this studio.
Yeah, we'll see something at their E3 event.
They did. But they released concept art, and apparently it's a sci-fi game. Sci-fi, what's the name of that shit?
Man, Arte, everybody fucking stop.
I didn't say that they didn't release it. I said I haven't seen it.
Those were his words. Okay, so the first actual topic, Kofi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first of all, I just want to show this on screen because like I don't know much about what's going on with GT. I know bad Dante, bad host. Because I don't have a PlayStation and racing games are not really my forte. Like I can tell you about fighting games, even though don't play them, but I am very invested in the FGC. I can tell you about a lot of other fucking games. Racing games, if it's outside of like Need for Speed, Underground 2, Most Wanted, and Carbon, I can't tell you shit. Because I kind of fell off with them and I was never really that interested in Gran Turismo. I'll admit that. But first of all, I will say this. Thank you to the butthead who did this. If you guys mind opening the stream, I want to show you this because this made me chuckle, but also brought a really big smile to my face because it's moments like this that you realize that you've made it. In some form or fashion, you've made it. But a friend of mine, the butthead, did this, which is fucking incredible. He bought my fucking logo in GT.
Oh, did he? Wait. I'm sorry. I need to. My stream died.
That's fucking dope.
Restarted it. So you're playing it now.
That's fire. Yeah.
And the best thing is he put it on a Mini Cooper. The most British thing ever.
Some of the Mini Coopers are fun as heck to drive. I'm loading it up now. Sorry, my stream died and I just didn't.
It's fine.
Oh, yeah, wow, that's really dope. Yeah, because I have the shirt, right? I know that logo very well. That's dope, man.
That made me so happy. I'm going to send him
the Lancer? That's dope.
Dude, I thought I'd shown you my original logo.
No, I mean, like, it's just cool that he broke out the Lancer on its own. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him the updated version just to see what he could do with that. But no, seriously. Okay. The only things I know about GT7 so far is unfortunately the negatives. It's a beautiful game from what I've heard. It's a nice looking game. NPCs aside. But the two biggest things that are coming out my way is, Kofi, why are they selling cars now for like $20
Right.
Because they want them to.
And also,
they want them to emulate.
How the fuck did? Because I heard the multiplayer broke like a motherfucker. Like the online broke. Please, Kofi.
It did.
Tell me what happened.
So if we're to look at GT7 from like a bird's eye view, outside of the debacle with the multiplayer, as you and Jube were just about to point out, a lot of things were done really well. 2 weeks before the game came out, Polyphony Digital announced that anybody who'd played Gran Turismo Sport would automatically have all of their decals, all of their online progress and reputation automatically migrated. And if you didn't want it migrated, you were able to flip a switch. There was basically nothing to do. If you had something that existed at all, if you ever had your information touch the PlayStation Plus, server updates for your save files, it would be migrated when you logged into GT7. Great job. What else was there? That they were talking about Sophie and having, AI and all this stuff that they're going to eventually add that uses cloud infrastructure to help with more intelligent drivers. They describe it really quick. I'll just say that they describe it in a way that the driver can be very skilled at certain individual things, but then might also show inexperience. And so it's supposed to be kind of like an AI that could drive with you in multiple events as you go through the cafe challenges or different missions or things like that. So I thought that was really cool. One thing they did not talk about that hardcore fans were concerned about before the game released was the differences in GT7's online modes compared to Sport. And I think the assumption PD was trying to convey is, it's just going to be the same. And they dropped the ball with that. In terms of getting into lobbies with your friends, playing online, just being able to log on, get in the lobby and race, you either don't connect, you either can't find the lobby that you're looking for, there's some sort of random connection issue. I would assume that the game being somewhat popular would have a lot of volume, but at the same time, they've had a long time to prepare for the online aspect. So for them not to have that working, definitely disappointing. Well, when I think back to the first real online game, for people who don't know, there was a LAN support for GT4 on PS2, but let's just eliminate that because nobody did that. On PS3, GT5 was like the one where they had lobbies. That one was pretty good. I mean, I remember having that game at launch, and I don't remember there being any sort of network issues, but of course, like, maybe I'm just looking at it like with rose-colored glasses. Okay, so I will start to describe some of the pain that I went through. I'll be honest, I run in some other GT-only gaming groups with casuals and hardcore people, and we all have been sharing liveries, and this is my lap time. Oh, you're not fast. I'm gonna dust you. All that stuff. We're having a good time until the update came out. Where for the license test, I don't know if you guys have heard this. The license test had some rally challenges, right? There's 5 levels of license tests. There's B, A, International B, International A, and Super. And for each one of those 5 total, there is a rally track that you have to get a good time on. I will lie to you not. I wasted an entire day, and I could not beat the rally challenge. I thought I was a bad driver. I was like, I must be trash. There's nothing I could do. I couldn't even get getting bronze was like a miracle. And I had to turn on the assists. I was turning on the driving line. I was turning on when to brake. I was turning on the demonstration ghost. Like, what? I am trash. And you know me. Like, this is me like Reggie. Like Reggie, all of a sudden you pick up Returnal and you can't beat it. You'd be like, what's wrong with me, right? Because this is your space. So I find out that the update accidentally added the incorrect tires to all the rally races. It didn't even occur to me. It didn't even occur to me to even like I'm not on Twitter. I'm not and Polyphony Digital didn't post anything official, right? It's only when I finally went to like a Facebook group, guys like, I can't beat this. And he was talking about the first level, like B, like the easiest license. He's like, I can't beat this rally challenge. What's going on? Some guy says, yeah, they got street tires accidentally on the rally cars. Oh, are you kidding me? So I was pissed because I don't have a lot of free time. So I just kind of like, I'm taking a break, go play some Sifu, whatever, or go play some RPGs. So all right, the update's back. They're taking everything offline, and I'm sure that's what you guys heard, that there was like a more than 24-hour period where everything was unavailable. And oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys, I gotta roll my eyes on this. Everybody in the community is, oh my god, I'm so upset. I can't connect. Does anybody know what's going on? Oh, GT7 trash is trash. I can't believe it. This is not Xbox people. This is just upset casuals who, like me, they come home from work, they want to log on. Oh, I want the game offline, this and that. And then people were like, well, certain things have happened under certain circumstances. It was revealed that some of the people working on with Prolific Digital's team was affected by the earthquake that also happened. No, I don't care about that. Da, 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 da. So I was getting upset because that's all I would see. Okay, and I'm like, I'm playing other games. It doesn't bother me to miss out on GT7 for one day. Yes, it's the launch week or the second week of launch. That makes sense. Okay, now that we got all those things out the way, let's address the elephant in the room. Since GT6, Gran Turismo has had microtransactions. It's been a full retail game, whether it was $60 back in 2013 in GT6 or $60 back in 2017 for GT Sport, and now it's $70 for GT7. Unacceptable. I have always hated the microtransactions, and I remember debating FC about this back when we started this podcast. It was one of the first things. Something that FC always brought up was the one first party studio that does microtransactions is Polyphony Digital, and I honestly hate it. Especially now where they have controversially reduced the amount of credits that you can earn in a multitude of races. So here's what happens since GT5, right? There's typically one race or one marathon race that you can race by yourself. You can just rack up credits, okay? Because like some of these cars, like 16 million, okay? And obviously you're going to be playing for a while before you buy, like, whether it was GT5 with 1,500, well, not 1,500 cars, like 1,100 cars, or GT Sport with 300 cars at launch. You got to grind through it. But now we're in this area where you can, okay, in GT7 already, there was a couple of races that you could do, and you could get some good credits. Like, people are like, I hate the microtransactions, but at least I could do race A, B, and C. Well, after update 1.07, and now 1.08 is out, they reduced that even more. And Kaz came out and said, I know this is from his heart because the grammar was really poor. Not dissing on him. Like, love him to death. But
he was crying while he was typing it.
this is not PR, right? PR did not review this statement, but he basically said, I like the idea of rare cars in real life being rare and hard to buy in GT7. And I respect that. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind it being harder. What I don't like is it's just incentivizing people to buy the microtransactions. That makes me sick to my stomach.
It's even worse.
So when people come out and they say, like here's my thing, like Young and some really big YouTubers are coming out, or like Rich Review Tech at Rich Review Tech, he'll say like, oh, like, they're ruining the game. And that's a bit dramatic, in my opinion, but I like loud voices because they've made a difference for all three. Well, I don't know about Nintendo. Nintendo be kind of like, but Xbox and PlayStation have made changes when we get loud. And this is one of those where they need to either relax the amount of credits that you can earn, which I just want the microtransactions dead, to be honest with you. If the microtransactions could be dead, and then I'm fine with the grinding, or you could increase rewards for online racing, considering that online connection is required to play. But that's the elephant in the room.
Right, hold on, Pharaoh, before you cut in, let me interject on one thing. I do disagree with you, though, that you turn around and say it's killing the game. I would say I would disagree if just that statement came out, but the fact that statement seemingly came out after they stealth nerfed the amount of credits you got again is going to kill that game, because like you just said, you got less credits than you ever did before, but then they patched it again to where you get even less credits. then that statement comes out. It's like they're trying to justify fucking over people.
And I feel like this is something I've noticed. Maybe this is me kind of speculating, but I feel like there's a specific team that has oversight for each of the first-party studios that's focused on marketing and making sure that they're profitable. It's something that we start to see a rift grow for the Days Gone studio at Bend, where I forget the guy, the level designer, was talking about how he didn't care about like what Ryan was saying or like what his leadership was saying. He was saying his direct boss out there in Seattle was saying like, we want you to be profitable, you're failing, and he was upset at that direct leadership. And I feel like the same thing's happening to PD, where Kaz probably doesn't care to have microtransactions, but there's a greater governing party right over PD that says, hey, microtransactions have been in the game since 2013. Why wouldn't we do it now? It's been 10 or 11 years. And I think we're just going to have to be loud enough and say that GT7 is trash until they change it. I don't know any other course of action.
Would it be mitigated if buying the cars was less? Because I've always advocated for, I've said microtransactions are unfortunately a thing that we're going to have to get used to because they're here to stay. Because people, even though we as the vocal minority will bitch and complain about it, like us and Young Yar and stuff like that, they're never going to go away, unfortunately. Loot boxes have fortunately gone by the wayside more and more because the fact that the government's got involved and people started people were getting handed out fines like Oprah was handing out fucking free cars. But
they don't let you sell cars. I forgot to say that too, which is a problem.
Yeah, but at least if they price them correctly, because I've always said I don't mind.
Can you trade?
No, you can't trade. I've always turned around and said I don't mind microtransactions so long as they're reasonably priced. So like a new car, like we're talking about that because I believe you said like at one point a brand new car in GT would cost you $5 or less, right?
You're saying in microtransactions?
Yeah, in some of the previous GTs.
Yeah,
like, that seems reasonable to me. Only for the state. The only reason I would find that reasonable is because not every car is going to be to your fancy. Like, if there was a beautiful fucking Ferrari, I'd be like, I really want that Ferrari. I don't care about the other cars. I will spend the $5 on that Ferrari. I don't mind. It feels like it'd be worth the $5 because I get to drive it. And it's going to support the devs, and also, like, the amount of time, modeling, and effort that went into, like, you know, modeling the car, putting in the programming so it goes at the right speed and stuff like that. It feels like the $5. It's not like spending like $5 on just a fucking skin for a gun in Call of Duty, which feels like that's overpriced because it's just a fucking skin. Like where the car actually has a lot more intricacy into what made it a reality. The skin is just a fucking skin. Like, they fucking chroma keyed out the original fucking colours, added new colours, and that's fucking it. There's nothing else to it. But then you also get into the concept of when does it start becoming pay to win. Pharaoh, you had something you wanted to add to this. Go ahead.
It was just when he was talking about the microtransactions and them fixing it. I was just going to say, I'm not sure if it's a fixable type deal because I think that they probably negotiated that with the licensing. So they probably saved money on licensing by pushing that charge onto the customer. So I don't know if that's like an easy fixable solution.
No.
That's a really good point. I think there's solid ground to make that. Yeah.
Apparently, the decision to for the prices for the cars is not from PlayStation, but from the company they partnered with.
Yeah, because that's what they negotiated with the licensing. So they saved money on the licensing.
So is it
because the same cars are in other games?
So then let me ask: listen to me. I'm the one that said I want the debate to talk about this topic because if this PlayStation version of what's called games as a live service, then I don't want to be none of that. But I'm trying not to be to play devil's advocate, but more like understand the situation. Can this be placed in the same box of when we were covering what's the name of that game? Flight Sim. Both have licensing. Both have. So I'm genuinely curious because GT7, as much as a quote unquote a beast when it comes to sales and even in the Olympics, is still focused on sim racing. The way Flight Sim is focused on flight sim. Sim flying, like
It's a little bit different because I don't think they have the variety of like pricing. Like you're not paying an extra $10 for this plane versus this plane. Like
There is.
The other thing with Flight Sim is a lot of the planes and shit that you get in the game are built by the community.
Not just
they're built like by third, but not necessarily community, but like they're built by third party. Like it's not Microsoft out here. Yeah, we're gonna make this plane and release it. Like majority of the store is third party.
It's not necessarily meant to be a game. It's just a simulator that sold as a game.
See, so here's the thing with Flight Simulator, there is varying differences in how much they charge you for the planes. There are some that are much cheaper, but that's most likely because there's nobody holding the license to said plane. I will bring up an example. There's a Boeing B-29 Super Fortress plane in this, which I do believe is a World War II bomber. That's in the game, but that's only £4. But then if we go down, there's a much smaller plane, very much so. It's a two person plane, a Cessna 152 add-on. That's £16.50. So this seems like it's driven by licenses as well. Yeah. Because there's also the add-ons that go even higher, which adds the Airbus A320, A321, which is a big giant passenger plane. That's £27. And by the way, I'd just like to point out all of these are percentage off. So they're even more expensive without that. So yes, in that regard, Omar is completely right. It is it does seem like a very similar situation where these seem to be dictated by how much the licensing costs to not only get but upkeep, because this is Flight Sim X. So they've been keeping up these licenses since 2006 onwards.
Yeah, because this is like a legitimate tool that pilots use to log flight hours and training and all that other stuff too.
Yeah. There is that difference in the fact that they're two completely different kinds of games. Where this one is a true to life flight simulator where you can learn the intricacies of takeoffs, landings, yawing,
instrumentation inside of different planes, like because all that shit is like modeled, and some of it is meticulously modeled, like where all the buttons have like a function, like that's
like if you need to work for a major airline, you need to be on a flight simulator and like work on these planes.
These are used to train pilots. Just
Gran Turismo also in the Olympics.
No. There is no way you can train to be a racing car driver in any way, shape, or form using Gran Turismo. I'm sorry, that is complete malarkey. You
can actually get your pilot's license by playing Flight Simulator. You can't
get a driver's license playing Gran Turismo though.
Actually, I think that's a bit of a stretch. Hold on. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think you could use Flight Simulator as a stepping stone towards getting pilot's license.
Yeah, the flight hours.
It counts as hours. It counts as practice
flight hours. But that's what I'm saying. It counts towards your.
But I don't.
You can get it.
Yeah, but GT is not doing that for you. GT
Yeah.
is not. GT is not.
Like you're still gonna have to like fly like a plane or whatever to get your license, but
get the actual license. But you get the flight hours and all that. Yeah, you can use Flight Simulator and save a lot of money.
Yeah, with this it could account. With this, it's so damn 1-to-1 to the real thing. It's the equivalent of flying an actual fucking plane. Where with Gran Turismo, even with the steering wheel and stuff, it's not 1-to-1 like racing in an actual car.
I agree.
I would I didn't say anything because I agree with you. Like, you're not going to get educated about the tracks very well. I'm thinking GT Sport.
Not just the not just the tracks, the cars. Where in Flight Sim, you are educated about the planes. Because each plane is different with all of its dialing and stuff like that. Where in GT, you're not exactly learning the ins and outs of all of these cars.
So, like, I generally agree with what you're saying. The reason why I hesitate is one of the hardest things that Polyphony Digital has to do for each car in real, because there's fake circuits, right? So like for Trial Mountain, yeah, you're not going to learn anything because it's not a real place. But like, for example, running a real F1 car on Laguna Seca, they spend hundreds of hours trying to get actual lap times to match what's possible in the game. That's what they mechanically match it to. And what's interesting about GT7, for example, is real weather data is used on the track. So like where it rains normally on Laguna Seca is just literally like satellite patterns of actual weather. So there's things that Lewis Hamilton, who has put lap times in GT Sport, the old game, will run the sim for 7 and say, oh, this is how I could tackle this turn because of how Sophie is learning the tracks. So remember I was talking about this, they have this AI that has learned from the drivers how to anticipate different turns and things like that. And when he can look at Sophie, drivers who are already skilled are learning new strategies. But I agree with you because you're talking about 0 to hero, and nobody's going to really like buy Gran Turismo to get good. Though I will say, there was a competition with GT6 and 5 where like people who were good at the lap times got to like drive cars. Like they went on to become actual circuit racers.
Okay,
so it has happened.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Though here's the difference. I guarantee you, those people who did or already had their driver's license.
Right, and that's exactly what I mean. Like, you're not going to come from nothing and use GT. It's more like higher level type stuff.
So basically, it's the same but with different.
The intentions is different. Flight Simulator uses the same amount of data. I guarantee uses the same amount of data collecting that Gran Turismo 7 does, but they do it with the goal of creating a simulator to train pilots. It just happened to be popular with enthusiasts who buy hundreds of dollars of DLC and planes. GT, they put all that time and effort into a more immersive video game.
That's where sense. I would agree with. It's a distinction. It's a sort of a thin line, but it's a very clear distinction between what the two are trying to do, because games like Flight Simulator or Train Simulator started their lives off as actual simulators. They just so happen to be made by video game companies, but let's say Microsoft never got into the gaming industry. Flight Simulator.
Flight Simulator was not originally made by a video game company.
Well, I mean, even still.
Basically, Flight Sim is not a game to begin with.
No, it's never advertised itself as a game. Like people have put it as a game because that's how we view things. And more the line is being blurred because games that used to be games like Gran Turismo, like the NBA, like football, like hockey, like wrestling are becoming closer and closer to the real life things. So we're losing the more art. Like I can't play 2K because frankly I'm bad at basketball. And at this point, where 2K is now, I do think you have to have a kind of comprehensive understanding of what basketball is in order to play properly. Pharaoh watches a lot of football. I really do think that translates as years go on into understanding the concepts of Madden going back and forth because you know how the game is played. It's not like Techno where you just throw the ball and hope somebody picks it up. You now have to understand routes, player rankings, player ratings, what your defense is going to do, what your offense is going to do, where before that was never really the case. So the line is getting blurred, but games like Train, it's why nobody ever complained about Train Simulator. Even though it has over 600 pieces of DLC, that's thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's only when Microsoft started making games and then put Flight Simulator on the Xbox platform, then all of a sudden people started getting in their feelings about it. It's like Flight Simulator has always been this way. Microsoft didn't change this. They've always existed in this space along with other actual simulators.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else to add towards the whole GT7 disaster?
Yeah. I got my money back for that damn game. For sure.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, Jubit, tell us how you really feel. Tell us why Forza 7 is way better.
Oh, I'm not gonna say that because I did not like Forza Motorsport 7. I'm just being honest. It was cool, like to demo and play, but I didn't buy that game.
You know, I didn't like when Forza Motorsport started taking out like some of them, like the mountain tracks and stuff like that, like the point A to B. I'm not a big fan of like a bunch of circuit racing. Like I like it a little bit, but I like a variation.
Yeah. No.
No, you go ahead, Joe. What do you want to say?
Like I said, my main thing was, you know, even going back to the reveal of GT7, I was already irritated with that game. I dropped $70 on that thinking, you know, okay, I'll give it a chance because I did really want to race with Kofi. We had talked about it. But just from that standpoint, it not having the car variety I expected of a new game in this franchise after a new numbered game in this franchise after so many years, and then just the whole online issue because I had downloaded that game and everything, and you know, fucking with Sony's customer service, they're like, if you download this shit, you're not going to get a refund. But
right there's your first issue. You're supporting digital downloads, which supports always online.
I have a digital PlayStation. I don't have a choice.
That's a you problem.
That is 100% my problem. Yes, it is. But no, I argue like, hey, this shit is not working. So per your policy, like, I got to get a refund for this. And then they were like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So I did. I will probably pick it up on a sale or something later, but I'm good. I'm good on it right now.
I want to ask Coffee. So my two things I had issue. So you know me, I don't fuck with GT whatsoever. But what PlayStation is doing with GT is gonna be reflected on other first-party titles, and that's my main focus. So at first, I genuinely had a gripe with the whole microtransaction situation until I reversed it into how it's being done with the flight sim, and it made sense in a way why they're doing what they're doing. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. However, always online. Why is that a thing? Why can't?
Yeah, the reason why
because Sony wants to know where you are.
Skynet. No, the reason they have always online. It started with sport, and the idea was there was a new certification that Polyphony Digital was chasing called the FIA standard, and it basically means having a centralized area where everybody has to connect eliminates or reduces cheating because there's always ways to find out ways around that. And having offline save files that could eventually be hacked or could somehow have let's say there's a hot lap that qualifies you for something. Sometimes back in GT5 and GT6, people were able to run something that was kind of cheat a system by maybe cutting a corner that wasn't properly penalized and then uploading the time. It's like, this dude did it in a minute? How's the top time 150 online? This dude just showed with a 59-second lap. And there was no way to validate that. It's almost like MMOs, right? Where MMOs, everybody stores their characters and all their data in a centralized area. It's not decentralized. I mean that might be the future if we're talking about decentralized.
Hold on, let me just hold on. I gotta call bullshit on that. So first of all, with MMOs,
I was about to do so. I was to do so myself.
Go ahead. With MMOs, it makes a little bit more sense because of the ever-growing world economy. Okay, so that with MMOs, it always being online makes sense because there's never an offline mode with MMOs. Like, it's a massive multiplayer online game. that makes sense. With GT, finding a way that there's no way to validate race time, that's bullshit. Because if they really wanted to, they could run tool assisted runs on their side to find out the best possible time. Like, I'm talking like the best possible time for each track. Like, using all of the best maneuvering, all of the best cars. They could use tool assisted runs to find like the lowest, absolute bottom of the goddamn fucking, like, I'm not even talking, I'm talking you are the best in the goddamn world at what you do at time, and anything that beats that should be flagged and investigated.
So I agree with what you're saying. I guess if we're to debate about this, I think there's two aspects I would use to debate. One would be, it's hard to determine what the flaws of a decentralized or offline state might bring up. There might be something that somebody who spends thousands of hours as a fan can figure out that can't be validated with something that's automated that Polyphony Digital creates from the high side. Like, oh, if the time's too fast, we'll look at it. Let's look at something if like they're too fast in a certain section. There could be something else that people figure out how to get around, and it can't be validated. And all of a sudden, now people are upset because of cheating.
No, that's why you have because I know a lot of racing games do this. That's why you have ghost runs. That's why you have saved ghost runs. So if that gets uploaded, like if you go online and that gets uploaded to the times, they can see your ghost run. They can see the ghost of your run and be able to follow it and see what you did and verify that on their side. And use their tools to map out your route and what you did, like down to the input, and figure out if it's valid or not.
So they did have that option since GT5. Unfortunately, there are ways to do it offline where you don't have to upload your ghost. It's not a requirement.
Then
should be.
No, then that should have been
at least
a
back in the
requirement.
day. I'm talking about.
No. Then I'm saying then that should have been a requirement that if you go online and you try, because here's the thing, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. If I want to cheat in my fucking game in my free time to have fun, I should have the right to do so without being fucking penalized.
Okay, so now you're bringing up a good point. Like, let's say you just want to drive. I get that.
Now, if I want hold on. Let me finish.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If I decide, okay, I want to play. Let me open up my Steam library right now. You know what? I'll say
GT7.
No. I'll give you an example of a good one, which is kind of fucked because it does actually affect me. If I want to go through Dark Souls 3, and I went through all the Dark Souls games, if I decide I want to have fun with Dark Souls, I want to see how far I can push this, if I want to use cheats in that game just to have fun, I should have the right to. I should also have the right to flag that account or that save file as a offline only character. So there's no possibility for me to go online. So nobody is affected by me wanting to use hacks. If
I agree with that statement. I was about to say, if you bring that character to the online competitive, then
I would agree. There's a problem. Shit like that should never be put on the online space. Like, so that's why they need validating systems. Because here's the problem. I did my run of Dark Souls 3. And unfortunately, I lost my Dark Souls 3 save data. So I actually had to download someone's save file where they were at a certain point, very close to my own. I then had to push a little bit forward to get to where I was. I had to respec my character to get back to where I was. And I'd never played online. I was not getting invaded. I was playing strictly offline. I then get hit by I then get shadow banned from the Dark Souls servers, because it turns out that the file that I had downloaded happened to have been a cheated run.
Ooh.
Someone had cheated to get up to that point and uploaded it, because it feels like because some people do this. It's a Trojan save file. Like, they do that just to fuck you over and get you shadow banned. That's actually a problem in the PC community. But unfortunately, even though I was playing offline, I'd not gone online whatsoever, I got banned for that. Which, in my opinion, I don't feel like I should have. First of all, it wasn't. First of all, I'll take some responsibility. I should have vetted it, but like I wasn't playing online. I wasn't my enjoyment of the game or whatever I decide to do in that game in my free time offline should not result in a ban or affect anybody else, because it doesn't affect anybody else. But if I take it online, then we have a problem, and I'll agree with you. But that's why. And going back to the GT thing, so what? I mean, if there shouldn't be an always online. If you go online and try and upload that time, it should have. They should have a vetted system where you have to upload a ghosting of that run to so they can verify it on their side against their tools.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just needs to be two separate modes. Like, okay, you can have an offline mode that's period, but then you can also have, if you're going to do anything online, expect all of that shit to be validated at all times, and that there's your compromise. Like, if you want to fuck around and cut corners and not have to worry about it, have a mode for that. Have a completely offline mode that doesn't upload shit. And if you want to be part of the community and go into leaderboards and shit, you got to be connected and. There's your happy medium. Some people aren't interested in that and just want to play the game. So having that split would be a great fucking idea. We'll see how that turns out.
Okay, does anybody get
them
killing servers over an update was ridiculous.
Really quick, I just want to say, one thing I love, I don't even know if you got to this point, Jubei, but installing the game does take a while. I have the disc version, but as soon as I think 5 minutes go by, they let you play the music mode, which basically means you have to finish a race by the time a song ends, and they're all original songs I think introduced to the world through the game. Which was really cool because you didn't feel like you were oh, I'm just sitting here looking at a line. You were driving, you were listening to good music, there were new tracks and hear the cars and stuff like that. But that part was off. Well, okay, it's not offline because technically it's installing it, but it gave you levels to appreciate things that didn't have to do with connecting your times and stuff like that. They need that for sure. So yeah, that's disappointing.
Okay, right. Is anybody else got anything they want to say about GT?
Final point I just want to say is with this one is I call bullshit on that excuse. Not something that you're giving excuse, something that they're giving the excuse. I truly believe it is more insight to what's called they don't want people to farm off air, get the best cars and they'll go on air and race it.
Then don't.
That's how I feel.
I do that too.
Here's the thing. Then lock that out in the offline mode. You can only unlock them in an online mode if you really want to, or with an online if you connect online. That's the only way you can do it. And then it unlocks it into a solo single player capacity as well.
It's possible. You could create. Let's say that. When I think about what we're mentioning, it's just easier to centralize everything right now. I think in the future there's got to have to be how do you say infrastructure, I'm thinking decentralized, that can block those kind of things, and you don't have to create there's a lot of overhead in what we're describing. Check for these things, do those things, make sure you write code that validates this and this and this, and what if new things get introduced and new tracks and new times and all. There's a lot of overhead to validate all that stuff, and they're just throw that on the garbage. We're centralized.
Here is my problem with you're making this way more complicated than it is. You're making it sound way more complicated than it is. These devs have they have tools to be able to you know about tool assisted speedruns, don't you?
Yeah.
They can effectively do the same thing with these games. They can slow down the game. They can use machine learning to be able to input all of the correct inputs while slowing down the game to be able to actually finish said races at the most optimized time, machine time. Which is why I'm saying, as far as they could do it to the best of human capability, while using the assistance of a machine. But it's still possible to get said time as a human or very close to it. But anything that would go below that line should be flagged as suspect, because either they miss something due to human error, which is what a ghosting would show, or this person's flat out cheating by using, say, like fucking third-party nitrous in their cars somehow that they're getting fucking light speed.
I guess maybe I'm thinking of this more like in the aspect of my job, where like new technology will come out and they'll be like, this technology is unpenetrable. It's perfect. And then somebody figures it out because they just obsess with getting around with whatever you have set up. And that's what I'm thinking of. That there's going to be somebody who's able to compromise the PlayStation 5 hardware in some point in time to get around whatever PD is doing. It's going to happen.
That's always going to happen. They finally fucking did it with the Xbox 360 architecture.
And so what's the cheap decision that you would make to prevent that?
But that's the problem. They're doing it cheap. They're not trying to evolve. They're not trying to evolve with the damn times. They're not trying to learn from the people. Like there's a reason. There is a reason why the CIA, the FBI, MI6 hire hackers. They use hackers to be able to find exploits in their own goddamn systems to be able to close them off.
It's just really hard, I guess.
I mean, I'm
thinking
hard. Like, I mean, you just use government agencies. This is a video game company.
No,
they could.
It's the same principle. But
it's not. But it's not the same energy. You're 100% correct. It is the same principle. And in a perfect world, this is what it should be done. But correct me if I'm wrong, Kofi. You said DRM has already been on GT, so this isn't new to the newest one. Meaning, it works. So for them, outside of what just happened recently, it's been working. Why would I change? Companies, unless you're some tech forward or some government, you got to really protect something, take ages to actually catch up to what's happening. Absolute ages.
Yep. Yeah.
And it be a video game, be wherever you want to go. Do it this way. Walk into a government building. Look at what computers they use. I can guarantee you they're about 3 generations behind.
By the way, I would just like to point out a quick Google search. December 12th, 2013. How to get 20 million CR in 3 minutes. Gran Turismo 6. Slap train.
6, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Kofi. Remind me. That's when the Always Online came in.
No, 7 Sport. I'm sorry, not 7. Sport was the first.
Then let me look up. Let me look up. Sport. Let me look up Gran Turismo.
Sport has a good one too. It's got a high speed ring one, but you have to remain online, and it's not nearly 20 million credits in that amount of time. Because I did it. I used to grind the heck out of that jump.
How people are cheating at GT Sports time trials from 2021.
But I'm telling you, it's severely the cost to benefit is excellent.
2017, Gran Turismo Sport Infinite Money Glitch get 1 million CR.
That was right at launch. Yeah, that's true. And there was one, in 7, there was one that was like you can get quite a bit of money.
But my point is like the fact, like you turn around and say it works, but it doesn't because
it doesn't hurt them enough to change.
Right.
Mitigation.
There's no perfect
defense. Here's the thing. It will when people start being able. Because here's the thing. Because we've talked about this, and because I fucking lambasted Omar about this when he said that cheating is so rampant on because we were talking about Warzone, that cheating is so rampant on PC and there's no cheating whatsoever on console, and then literally a month later a USB device came out that you plug into your console, then plug your controller into it, and it gives you a fucking aimbot, which they couldn't fucking detect.
Right. When it becomes a problem, it will most likely be too late, but that is normally how organizations operate. They're much more reactionary than they are preventative.
And all I'm saying is they're basically putting a fucking band-aid over cancer.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Right, speaking of cancer, I can't believe that actually works as a fucking transition for this. MoonStudio. So, speaking of cancer.
Yay!
So let's read this, shall we? So MoonStudio devs accuse founders of poor management, bullying, unprofessional behavior. Ori Studio founders Thomas Myler, and I'm not even going to fucking pronounce that, said to have shaped the culture marked by shouting matches, excessive, crude, and frequent sexist, racist, offensive jokes. I hope this is not I hope in time we don't find out that these are literally just jokes. And I mean, because here's the thing. I just, so everybody knows my stance. I feel like everything should be joked about. Like I have bad knees. I feel like everybody should be able to joke about my bad knees. I wear glasses. I feel like everybody should be able to laugh about my glasses. I'm white. I feel like everybody should be able to joke about the fact that I'm a cracker.
I would say you can, just not in my job.
You gotta know who you gotta know who you're joking.
Yeah, you gotta read the room.
Know your audience.
You gotta read the room first, but also people should understand the difference between actual racism, actual sexism, to jokes. Because whether a joke, if you find, just because you don't find a joke funny doesn't stop it from being a joke. It's just a joke that you didn't find funny. Yeah, and it's just a joke.
In the workplace, though, there's no place for that. Sorry, there's no gray area.
Yeah, in your job, if you have to think about it, don't do it.
Exactly. If you're in your circle of friends, that's totally different. But when it comes to where where you get your paper from, where you get in the bag from, where you have to answer to somebody, this is where
I kind of disagree. But here's the thing: I'm not saying what they've done is right, because I don't know what jokes they told. I'm just giving my 2 cents on the initial thing. We'll read more in a second. My thing is these guys, with what the devs are saying, they shaped a culture. It's clear they were like this from the beginning. So it's like this environment was like this. So if it was, again, I'm gonna throw the devil's advocate for me right now. If it was an atmosphere where they did make these jokes, whether they landed for the person or not, the atmosphere was there that they are these kind of joking jackasses. So that's the workplace. That's the workplace that they set up. They wanted a workplace of being able to be a relaxed, joking jackass. Does that make sense? In a suit and tie business, the higher CEOs have set up saying no joking, no laughing. We're all suit and tie business. That's fine. But if the CEOs themselves are the ones saying, oh no, be relaxed, be a joking jackass, just don't be a Blizzard and set up a Cosby room, then. I mean, you've set the atmosphere. You can't use the workplace argument there, because the workplace was literally set up to be a happy, joking atmosphere.
Happy being the prerogative word.
Exactly. That's why I'm reading on. Like I say, I'm not defending. Believe me, I don't think this is. Did they ask advice from Activision Blizzard? So yes. MoonStudio's founders Tom and whatever his name is are the main subjects of Vulture Beat reports, from which former employees detail an aggressive studio culture filled with bullying. This is why you need to read on people, because when you read that second subtitle, when it says excessive crunch and frequent jokes, it kind of sets the wrong mood. But yes, of bullying, crunch, and inappropriate jokes. The outlet spoke to members of a number of current and former employees of the studio behind Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp. And they collectively described an abusive work environment led by 2 founders who did not hesitate to bully and demean their employees. Now, that sounds a lot fucking different. That sounds like they're just assholes. Moon developers recount that, whatever his name is, would criticize them in front of the rest of the team, saying their work looked like shit, made him want to vomit, or produce a failed or was the product of a failed abortion. Now, I've been said
what's the What's the last one? 'Cause I didn't hear.
He said that their work made him either look like shit, made him want to vomit, or was the product of a failed abortion. Now, I mean, I've been likened to a failed abortion before, but the irony coming from the person who fucking said it. I mean, Jesus Christ, he looked like the afterbirth. But that just seems like that's done in like a harmful nature, not a joking nature, most definitely. Beyond being abusive with their criticism, Myla was said to be unable to provide helpful feedback. You literally run the fucking company. How do you fail at doing that? Helpful feedback on how something was lacking or how he wanted to see it improved. Wow, how did they ever
like
fail?
shit.
And these guys fucking produced the order, Jesus. Were the founders both belligerent? Yes, in my opinion, one source said. It was limited to those two? Yes. Unprofessional on the hourly basis? Yes. Harassing? Yes. Additionally, Myla was said to make a habit of hiring talented people to work at the studio and then introducing them to the team by tearing down their previous work on shit games. I'd leave. I'd leave at that point.
Yeah.
Like, okay, no, fuck you and fuck your job. I'll just go back to fucking Insomniac.
So see, here's the this is my thing, Dante. Like, if they wanted to buy them, it's like, okay,
no,
the two founders of that studio have to sell, and I guarantee, like, okay, we're not going to sell to you unless we're involved. And if they were involved, none of those employees were going to come across.
We'll get it.
It wasn't going to happen.
We'll get with that. We'll get to that in a second.
Myla
and Carol also had a frequent antagonistic relationship, trading pointed barbs in group chats and having shouting matches in front of the team. So these two didn't even fucking like each other. I remember there's one meeting where they argued for a full hour. Jesus Christ, not even I could bitch for a full hour. One developer said it was a particular call to get to the bottom of some problem. Our whole team was there just listening, and then eventually everyone was like, we're tired and you're wasting our time. We are leaving. Nothing got accomplished. It affected everyone's morale. The lack of concern for professional standards was reportedly reflected in their behavior at other times where they regularly made offensive jokes at work settings. We'd be hearing about penis size and, Hitler jokes.
Yeah, so
I'll make Hitler jokes because fuck that piece of shit. Like that's some other like that. I'll make fun of Hitler because fuck that little fucking Sanchez wearing bitch. I ain't gonna tell anybody the size of my joke though. What the fuck? One says the jokes were jokes, but it was really more unbridled aggression. It set the tone. See, now, there you go. Thank you. That right there. Okay, so this source that's talking clearly got the fact that they were jokes, but it's the tone that they were said in that was the problem.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I'll read again. One says the jokes were jokes, but it was really more unbridled aggression. It set the tone. So it's more about the delivery of the joke and the tone that said. So it's like instead of turning around and saying like in a joke, I could turn around and say like jokingly. I'm trying to think of an actual good fucking penis joke just to kind of make my point.
No such thing as a good penis joke.
That's a fucking lie, and you know it.
Throwback.
Okay, when I walk out the house naked, I make even horses blush. There you go. Like the tone, like whether it's a good joke or a bad joke, like you can tell it's a joke because like the absurdity of it. But if I was to come off more aggressively, like invading personal space while saying it, or saying it in a harsher tone, like that comes off as more aggressive. So the joke is lost, and it just comes off more like sexual harassment.
Yep.
Racist. Yeah. So hold on. Racist, sexist, homophobic, sexist. You said sexist twice. Why the fuck is sexist there twice? Ableist comments. So I can't make people fun of Down syndrome. Oh man, that puts me down. Ableist comments were also described. Beyond the inappropriate workplace behavior, Mela and Corral were also accused of implementing excessive crunch at the remote working studio, in part because of poor planning, micromanagement, and dictating last-minute changes to games. Fuck me, this goes on and... Maya and Cora would seem to be online for all but 5 hours a day. Myla monitored how often employees logged on and would ask why they took a weekend off. Okay, now this guy seeming like... The irony, he would make Hitler jokes when he's actually coming off just like Hitler. Fuck's sake, he probably wanted their social security number as well. He left messages for employees at all hours regardless of what time of day it was. It was in a time zone where they lived. I've been at multiple studios now, and Moon was the only one to give me a PTSD about the games industry, one developer said. I think they were especially toxic. I definitely got burned out severely to the point where I think I would consider a different career path because of because it was so awful. Another described the impact it had on them by saying, I feel like I've been a meaner, worse person having been through that environment. Myla and Cora released a statement to Vulture Beast about the report saying, we don't believe the experiences suggested by your questions are representative of more than 80 MoonStudio team members who are thriving and doing great work every day. Nor do we believe they are representative of the experiences of former members of the team. They added, if at time we were brutally direct in our criticism and challenges, we are also genuine and vocal in our praise. We are incredibly proud of everything we have built and achieved together. They also addressed the intolerance evident in the group chat, saying, we appreciate the irony that we, an Australian and an Israeli Jew, started a multicultural enterprise. God damn it, we view each other as brothers, and like brothers, we sometimes argue and frequently tease each other. We have made jokes at our own expense, but the difference is in our background, about the differences in our background, and there may have been times that our teasing of each other has come off as insensitive and have made others feel uncomfortable. Maya and Coral concluded the statement by saying, we are not perfect, but we deeply care about our talent and are consistently working hard to improve, but we have if we have ever made anyone feel uncomfortable or let anybody down, we regret that and we will always strive to do better. Alright, so I got a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's everybody's bullshit meter at right now? Kofi, what's your bullshit meter at?
I'll be honest, I think I might need to review everything that's going on with MoonStudio. This is completely new to me. So I'm going to take a back seat a little bit.
0, what's your bullshit meter at?
Pretty high. And, you know, I work in politics, so, like, I'm pretty well versed in it. I mean, all of it is, you know, corporate speak about, you know, I'm sure the people who experience this don't have this. It doesn't help that, like, we've put out 2 really good games, so how possibly bad could it be? The truth of the matter is, more than one thing can be true. And that you can be a studio that puts out 2 excellent games while still having a pretty terrible work environment. And none of those things are necessarily mutually exclusive or have to be, like, completely connected in a way that makes one negate the other. From what it sounds like, and I wouldn't be surprised, like, if it's the 2 guys whose company is theirs, they are god kings amongst everyone else who works there. So they have their fair share to do whatever they want, when they want, how they want it. What I'd be willing to bet, and this circles back to the earlier conversation about, like, jokes in the workplace. I would put a good amount of money on they could joke to you. You could not joke to them.
That's possible. That is a distinct
Or you felt like you couldn't.
Yeah, or you felt like you couldn't. Yeah. Because, like, they were, like, raging assholes and they'd get pissed off. and like they'd either fire you or make your job harder. But like to your point, Dante, it's all supposed to be jokes, right? Like you making jokes with me, but I can't make jokes with you because like you're some type of monster.
Yeah, I'm a white. Yeah. I'm the ultimate monster. I'm a white guy.
Yeah. So right.
And you
so,
also
like,
got to factor in that like a lot of computer people don't have that jock mentality of like throwing jokes back and forward. Like people have different levels of sensitivity.
No, okay, yeah, definitely. But like, I feel like this is definitely failing on their part because again, I'm more speaking anecdotally. But if I had a studio or I owned a company, I'd make it very clear at the interview. We are a very lax company. Like you can joke, you can talk about whatever you want. You can you can joke, you can laugh, you can do what you like. All we require is that you get your work done on time, to the highest quality, to the highest standard that we ask, and that if someone does find your jokes offensive or does find you. Or you cross any line, you will be reprimanded for it because not everybody is going to appreciate a rape joke. Not everybody is going to appreciate knowing that you was hung as a horse. No one's going to appreciate, even though they should, appreciate that you wonder how hotter Hitler burned, either when they burned his body or him burning in hell.
And that's the thing, because inevitably, what always happens in things like this, you have to take the whole picture. And not just the individual pieces that like people like to single out. So like, crunch was involved in there. So people already have their sort of feelings about crunch. So they're like, I crunch all the time for my job. I can make all these types of jokes in my job, or my boss yells at me at my job as well. And it's like, one, you don't necessarily have to deal with that. Like maybe that's not the best place to work, or maybe they shouldn't be doing that. Two, like it's the collection of all these things that seemingly are making this place relatively difficult to work at. People as a whole, workers as a whole, still don't necessarily understand their rights, how to enforce them, how to regulate them, if they even have any. That's where, quote unquote union talk comes in. But so a lot of these people probably really did want to do good work, and Ori is a good game. So like they want to be proud of it, they want to be a part of it, and people will put up with an incredible amount of stuff just to sort of, maybe you got to keep the paycheck going. Maybe
that's where I feel like the failing on the failure on the owner's part of an introduction to what and who their company was.
And part of that is because they know that what they're doing is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And this is what, like, you trick people into being here. And it seems like the article said as much. Like, they sort of zeroed in on high-level talent. And then probably gave him a nice little elevator speech, but like no one will come to your company if the first thing I tell you is like, yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna put you in front of the staff and we're gonna just like tear you down a little bit, but like it'll be in your best interest. And it's like, well, first of all, who are you to tell me what's in my best interest? Second of all, what are you doing?
I don't know if they tore down the person. They tore down the games they worked on. That was the thing that was highlighted.
Yeah, I think you're talking shit about somebody's work, though.
I think for some of these developers, like you're coming from my baby. Yeah, so it's just like it's a bit absurd to the point of comical. If like these stories didn't keep coming out over and over and over again. Frankly, all things considered, I think we're relatively lucky that we found this out about MoonStudio, because it's not like they're a big name studio. They made Ori. And we tend to don't hear from them until they do Ori again, or whatever is following Ori after this. Probably
Can I piggyback on that really quick, Reggie? Sorry if you guys brought this up, because I was just reading. You guys may have already mentioned that Jez, the one of Xbox 2, had mentioned what I think we always found interesting way back before Xbox made any crazy acquisitions, that MoonStudio seemed like the perfect studio to buy. And I remember when the second one came out, they were like, no, Xbox is not going to work.
We'll get into that. That's the second part of this topic. I just want to get everybody's thing out of this, because this is something that Omar and Jube had a bit of an artistic tism about on Twitter. Okay. And now that I've read that, I have a clear, defined line now on where I can stand on.
You can see things, right?
Yes.
I'll be quiet, but yeah, I'm getting a good picture now too. I'm sorry.
And I'll end it here. It's like, it's kind of horrible. I'm glad this stuff came out to light. I hope that like the culture in that place changes, and that means getting rid of those dudes. So be it.
I have a question. Apparently, this is the reason why Microsoft.
No, stop! I literally just said this is the next thing we're talking about. So shut up. We're talking about like the accusations first, then we'll move on to that. Damn.
Huh? This is literally, but this is it.
No, that we'll get onto that next. That's going to be a broader topic.
Oh, okay, got you.
Pharaoh,
This is more initial feelings, bro.
These are initial feelings. So go on, Pharaoh. Your bullshit. Between 1 and 10, where are we at?
I'll give it like a 6 because we don't know the scope and depth of these issues. So I'm curious as to like, is it just just a couple people that's part of a small team, or is it a company wide issue? The article doesn't really dive into that portion of it.
It does actually. In fairness, it does say that the article they did talk to past and current members of MoonStudio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the outlet spoke with a number of current and former employees of the studio behind Ori and the Blind Forest.
Well, then they got some work to clean up. So, like I said, I mean, I don't mind a joking workplace, but like me, I read the room. Like when I work there, I kind of find out who I vibe with and who I don't, and the people who I vibe with, I joke with them. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, so I just think you just gotta know who you're dealing with, and is it as bad as the people are making it out to be? Maybe not, but it's that bad to them. So if it's that bad to them, I mean, that's their reality. So perception is reality. So we might be there, we might be in front of those same jokes and might not think much of them, but that person, they spent 14 hours working on this code and they're proud of it, and you come and tear it to shreds.
Okay.
You got to think of it.
Right.
See, the joke, I think we're getting way too hung up on the joke thing, because for me, the joke, even if I don't find a joke funny, it depends on the tone someone takes. Even if a joke doesn't land, I'll know it's still a joke, so I won't take offense to it, because I'll give that person the benefit of the doubt that, you really don't feel like every woman should be chained to the stove because they'll get away if they do. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you really don't believe that. You're just making that as a joke, but it failed to land with me because it just really wasn't that funny. My umbrage with all of this comes from the berating people for doing shit work and then not giving any kind of criticism. Like, you are the fucking studio head. You are the guy who apparently has the directive vision. So if I'm doing something wrong, either tell me where I'm going wrong with this, or get the fuck out of my business. Because I'm the one you hired to do this, and if I'm not doing this to your satisfaction, then either do one of three things: get the fuck out of my business and let me continue my work. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I will correct it to your specifications, or fire my ass, because I ain't gonna deal with your shit no more. That's where I take major umbrage with this. Also, tearing down other people's work. Like, there's only a few people in the world I will tear down their work right in front of them. David Cage is one of them. I've made my thoughts very clear on David Cage. I will tell David Cage to his face, you are a fucking hack. You are literally one of the worst things in the gaming industry. You are a shite virtue signal who thinks he's deep but couldn't even fucking cut it as a B-movie fucking writer. So you started a game studio. Well done, you found success with your mediocrity. Alright, he's literally the only motherfucker I will say that to his face. Everybody else, unless they are an inherent piece of shit, which David Cage is, even if I don't like their games, I will find merit in their games. I will find merit in what they did in the game. Unless it's the guys behind the 13 remake, there's nothing of merit there. So to bring in people who worked on previous games and then to shit on them, it's like, oh, so you brought me in because I'm talented, but then you immediately going to shit on my talent. Yeah, no, I think this is going to be the quickest fucking in-out job I've ever fucking had. Like, again, it's that, like, all of that right there is where my aggression, my anger towards all of this comes. Now, whether we know it's an isolated thing or not, and the circumstances behind it, we don't know. But looking at it just from what has been said by these sources, these guys come off like fucking egotistical, unknowing assholes. Omar, where do you land on the bullshit radar?
1 second.
Okay, Jubei, where do you land on the bullshit?
I think the whole situation's fucked. I'm gonna save my thoughts for the more broader topic.
Okay, right. And Omar's opinion doesn't matter anyway, so we can move on.
I'm back.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like this, because I make it very, very clear. I think I've set the tone for all of this. Like this is a casual atmosphere. Even though this is business, I feel like it's been set as a casual atmosphere. I'm always going to bust Omar's balls. I'm always going to talk weave shit with Kofi. I'm always going to joke about Zero sucking Hades' dick. I'm always going to joke about fucking Jubei having to glue on his dreads. And I'm always going to... really, I can't actually think of anything I can joke about. No, his weird fucking fascination with Madden. There you go. That's what I can joke about with a joke about Pharaoh. And all of them can joke about the fact that I'm white. That's the atmosphere I feel like's been set up.
Okay.
Which is...
yeah. It's... culture. I just want a game crash or just a company crash for companies to wake up and realize that this is not okay.
That one's not anything.
Sorry?
That one's not anything.
Joking is all fun and dandy, but you don't joke around your workplace unless it's with your friends that you know. Because not everyone gonna tolerate your jokes. And 2, if you tell someone to stop and he or she doesn't stop, then it's no longer joking.
A lot of people don't say stop though. A lot of people don't.
Which again goes to my whole point about reading or readying the atmosphere. Like if I say a joke that offends somebody here, or anybody says a joke that offends somebody, I'd hope that the atmosphere has been set up that you can tell that person that joke didn't land. Don't ever do that again, and they'd understand. Clearly, these guys did not do that because they're idiots.
It's not that idiot. It's genuinely holding power over someone else.
See,
yeah, exactly. Like most people don't want to fucking get into a disagreement with the person that signs their damn checks, regardless of how they feel about it.
Here's the thing. I feel like the joke thing. I think you guys are focusing way too much on the joke thing because.
I pressed the wrong button.
How dare you? How dare you press the wrong button? So unprofessional. Anyway,
what should we focus on then?
Well, the fact that there's actual fucking points of them being verbally bullied.
But
like that, like here's the thing. In my opinion, again, this is just my opinion. I find it worse if you are literally throwing direct malice at somebody. All right. If you are throwing directed malice at someone, telling somebody that their work that you have paid them to do makes them want to feel sick, I find that way more offensive. I find that a bigger thing to get argued about than someone being uncomfortable by a joke and really not saying anything. Like
I agree with that.
That's something you can zone out. You could literally zone out and say, "Oh God, he's making those fucking jokes again." All right, just gonna put the headphones on, get right to work. But if someone comes over and literally tells you your work is shit, and again, equating it to looking like a failed abortion, I feel like that's something that should be more prevalent about, where everybody here, no offense, everybody here was just focusing on the jokes, when I feel like the bigger fucking topic is the direct aggression from the head guys to the devs that they hired.
A question, so where is HR in all of this? I'm pretty sure HR would have
I guarantee you, it's a small ass studio. Okay, first of all, I'm sure one of these guys is HR.
Yeah, one of these guys is HR. I'm pretty sure.
Fucking sure. But also, it might also be a case of it's a small enough dev studio that they don't have HR. I guarantee you, their social media guy is just a dude who writes shit on Twitter as well, and it's probably one of these guys as well.
So yeah, no, this is absolutely not cool, and I hope whoever is responsible for this to get his or her head kicked in. Cause bullying at work is never cool, and it's crazy that there are no laws for this. And again, I covered it on my show, and it all depends on which what's called country it is. Cause some country have laws, some country don't have laws. But yeah, no. This is why I truly want a game, a company crash. Like,
it's not okay. If this company crashes, it's not going to be a blimp on the radar. If the industry crashes, it's not going to make this kind of thing go away.
Yeah, I know, because this is not gaming related. Like, this is literally everyday work for some at work for some people. That's not even gaming related. So the only way to prevent this is to have laws, and that's it.
Unionization. It is a shitty situation. It fucking sucks. I feel sorry for these fucking people.
Because I've seen countless developers now being quote unquote burnt out to the point they just don't want to be developers anymore. They fucking hate it there. And it's a sad situation, because imagine growing up wanting to be a developer, going and studying how to be a developer, only for the company to treat you like this. Whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, you name it, it's happening in every single big publisher. Look at Ubisoft. Look at CD Projekt Red. Look at
There's two differences. There's kind of two differences, because I know where you're going with this as far as like a crunch atmosphere, because you're focusing on crunch now. The thing is,
I'm not concentrating on crunch. I'm focusing on the mistreatment of developers.
Okay, right. So the thing is like there was no alleged. Actually, there was in CD Projekt Red. I'm just trying to. There was a little of it in CD Projekt Red, but there was no outward aggression like what's being stated here. Like none of what, to my understanding, none of what is happening here, in MoonStudio happened in CD Projekt Red. That more happened in Blizzard. What happened with CD Projekt Red was the incessant asking for crunch, which then resulted in a lot of people getting burnt out.
Okay, you can scrap CD Projekt Red from the conversation, but PlayStation is having an issue, Ubisoft is having an issue, Microsoft having an issue. It's everywhere, and it needs to stop.
It does, and it just needs the devs, in my opinion, need to take power into their own hands. They really do. Like I'm fully with unionization.
Which is why we're seeing now a lot of devs starting their own studios. Look at Nakamura. She started her own studio. Look at the developers that left PlayStation.
It's
With
more for creative freedom in those instances.
To be fair, though, you could say that about Kojima, actually, because, like, yeah, there was a bit of creative freedom to that, but also the fact that during Metal Gear Solid 3, they damn near all but locked him in his office, away from the rest of his team, so he couldn't communicate with them.
And Metal Gear Solid 5 literally cut in half, like, the game is unfinished. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Anyway, so anyway, my final thoughts, because I've been giving a lot of thoughts. If you're one of these devs, in my opinion, because I'm pretty sure this would apply, and your colleagues are making dumb fucking jokes, don't take them offensively. And if you find them offensive, just tell them don't say that kind of joke. I don't like it. Because here's the thing: if your boss fires you because of that, guess what? You got a lawsuit in your hands because that's wrongful fucking termination. That's legit wrongful termination. I don't care what unless you're in a third world country, you can sue their ass for that bullshit. And as far as I know, this is a Canadian company.
The problem is suing companies most of the time cost you more money than it's like you actually getting more fucked by suing a company.
Not really. Not necessarily. Right. So a small studio like this, if they try and take it to court, they ain't gonna have that much money either. Because again, this is a small studio. If it's something like Activision Blizzard, as has been proven, they will just settle out of court to make it go away. So, yeah, nothing, but you could still make that shit public. Just don't sign any non-disclosure agreement. But if someone is yelling at you, don't be afraid, and doing bullshit like this, don't be afraid to fucking pick up your ball and go home. Your talent is better suited elsewhere. But
some bosses just don't know where to draw the line between being a boss or being a respectful human being.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But also, it's sometimes hard to distinguish that with a person, especially in who here knows about? I'm not even gonna make that, but like it's the same. It's the kind of I could equate it. It's sometimes hard to be in that, but to find a distinction in that kind of high position itself anyway. Because if you are, like, the dude in charge of hiring and firing people at a company, you're probably the most despised motherfucker in the company because you've got the unfortunate goddamn fucking task of firing some motherfucker. And you don't want to, but unfortunately you've got to put business first. You know what I mean? So, like, you could make a decision, you could say something or make a decision that you don't necessarily want to make, but for the best of business, you've got to make it. These guys clearly weren't making decisions that were best for business, though.
Right. I mean, a lot of people, it takes a special kind of person to even be in that job, because a lot of people, aren't even comfortable trying to have that kind of conversation with, people like, hey, well, you're out of here.
Yeah.
It's not an easy conversation to have, but, you need to be a certain kind of person to be able to even be in that kind of, space. Just because it's one of those awkward interactions that you kind of have to have.
Yeah, sorry, to continue on this conversation so we can quickly move on to the next one. So it did come out, and Kofi alluded to this, and Omar really wants to talk about this. This has been cited as now the reason why Microsoft did not purchase MoonStudio. There was interest in purchasing them, but it's come out with this article that this is the reason why Microsoft did not go ahead with purchasing them.
Now that's a bullshit meter times 20,000. Because Activision happened.
We're about to fight about this.
Work.
Yeah, here we go. You know what, Jube, Omar, fucking have at it. I will find some popcorn because I want to see this fucking shitstorm of spasm. Go on, go ahead.
This is on such much. Go ahead, Jube. Go.
No, I want you to go ahead and go first because I already know what I'm about to say. I got you. Just go ahead and go first.
Okay, so the fact that they just purchased Activision just said it all. And before people can say, yeah, but this is what's called this is all just one person. No, HR literally didn't defend the woman that eventually killed herself. Like, the toxic environment in Activision is so fucking bad, it's beyond belief. So, anyone that gonna tell me that Microsoft would ever buy a company like Activision, they would have bought MoonStudio in a heartbeat. Not even in a millisecond, in a heartbeat. One, it's a blimp. No one would have absolutely cared about the allegation or whatever you want to call it. They would have replaced whoever needs to be replaced and call it a day. Cause Moon Studio Ori 1, I never cared for it. It's an okay game. But Ori 2 is an amazing platformer. And the gameplay is genuinely fun and exciting. Aside from the game breaking 2 bugs that I had or glitches that I had, I loved that game. And that was the very best IP that Microsoft focused on. And that's why, for me, I would have bought Moon Studio over Double Fine and Ninja Theory combined. But that's just me.
Okay. You bet.
Yeah.
Your rebuttal, please.
So I like how you brought up Activision, right? Here's the thing. Activision is a publicly traded company, which means Bobby is not the deciding factor in whether they want to sell or not. You feel me? There's a board. Exactly. There's a vote that needs to happen. In the case of Moon Studios, they're not publicly traded. It's 2 guys. Those 2 guys have to agree to sell. And I guarantee you, if Microsoft wanted to buy them, it's like, well, if we buy you, you're out because your employees don't like you. And then Moon Studio, the 2 guys are going to be like, go fuck yourself. We're not going to sell to you because this is our shit. You feel me?
I guarantee you they could have done so without saying we were gonna kick you after we buy you.
Because here's the thing: if they got acquired by Microsoft, do you honestly think the employees would want to go to Microsoft to still be working under the motherfuckers that they supposedly have so many issues with? No.
But
which in turn,
Let the man.
No, go ahead.
Omar, let the man fucking finish. He gave you the respect to not interrupt any of your shit. You show him that same respect. Jubei, continue.
I mean, so like I said, they're no. If they feel this way, they're not gonna go to work under another umbrella and still be under the same motherfuckers that is giving them grief at work. That's not gonna work. A lot of people are going to resign or not bother, which is in turn going to cause Microsoft to literally have to rebuild that studio. After already paying to buy said studio, now they have to spend more money to replace the people that don't want to be under that same leadership. So I'm pretty sure there's the contention. A, they didn't want to sell because they knew if they sold, they're out. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So
let me add to both sides here. Because. Yeah. I have some thoughts on this as well before both of you rebuttal each other. So, as far as the Activision thing, there's something else that you failed to mention, Jubei, that there is a big deciding factor on why they purchased Microsoft and not Moon Studio. Moon Studio has one fucking IP.
Yep, and Activision has a fuck ton.
They have way more. Like equity wise, they will get more out.
They're going to get more return on their investment out of Activision than they would have
with Moon Studio.
But that's never the focus. The focus was the whole. People are painting Microsoft as
The focus at the end of the day is money. Ori is a great game. Is it going to make the kind of money that Activision is going to make for Microsoft? Absolutely not. It's impossible. It won't.
And that's why. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. First of all, if they bought Moon Studios, they'd have to buy it from the 2 guys because they own the whole fucking thing. They could put down a price, any price they wanted. Now, whether Microsoft paid that or not, that's up in the air whether they would have. But considering they are a privately traded they are a private company, they could put down 7 figures. They could put down 7 figures.
Nay.
Or like fucking 8 figures. Because they would get all that money. They'd get and then if they didn't want to leave, because all of this would have to be done on a contract, they would also have written in the contract that they would stay on as the directors of MoonStudio for X amount of years, which the guys at Activision can't do. Like maybe the team at Blizzard, the assholes who did a lot of this shit, maybe they're under contracts that they've got certain time on their contract. So either Microsoft has to buy out their contract to get them out, or they run out their contract and then give them the boot, or they try and rehabilitate them into not being assholes. But guys at the top, the CEOs, the people who own shares, they're fucking gone because they're being bought out. They're buying all of the shares. Because it's still going through because it needs to be voted. Because I mean, you got to, and for me, it's always the big one. You got to remember, Tencent owns a percentage of Activision Blizzard, and for a buyout of this magnitude, everybody has to agree to sell shares. I believe it's the thing. If one person doesn't want to sell, then I think the whole deal falls through, if I remember correctly.
It's still majority rules. That's like that with any company. You can always be overruled. There's always going to be dissenting votes when it comes to selling there, but if you're outvoted, you're outvoted. There's nothing you can really do about that.
Thank you for clearing that up. Now let me finish. Now, as far as MoonStudio, I do believe that Microsoft could have bought MoonStudio. I do believe Microsoft could have bought MoonStudio. And they could have bought MoonStudio at the time and given these guys enough of a number that these guys would have given over all of the control. I feel like Microsoft could have done that at the time. Definitely. There's no denying that, Jubei, no offense, there's no denying that. They could have given these guys enough money that they could have ousted them, got them out completely, and then got new management in. It's just about the amount of money these guys would have wanted, which again, for me, it wouldn't have surprised me if it went to 8 figures. 20.
Here's the thing.
Let me finish. Okay. Let me finish because there's a I'm siding with Omar on this that they could have done it, but there is a big fucking caveat to this, and this is something neither of you actually considered. They could have done it, but like I said, it probably would have gone to 8 figures, probably fucking 30 million. So that might be a ludicrous degree, but again, it's a private company. They could have written down any number they wanted, with the stipulation that they leave.
But they're buying talent, though.
What?
They're buying talent and IP.
No, I agree.
No,
I agree.
they're not buying IP.
No, they would. No, if they bought MoonStudio, they would have bought the Ori IP.
Who owns the IP?
That would be the 2 guys. I believe that would be MoonStudio. I think they own Ori.
I think they own it.
I'm pretty sure they own Ori. I think Microsoft was only a publisher. Because that's why they came out for Switch as well. They were only a publisher for it.
And they actually wanted to put it on PlayStation. But Microsoft said no because they were afraid of the whole console situation.
I mean, you could look it up. Hold on. Who owns Ori IP?
One of the point why Microsoft didn't buy them is because they wanted to go multi-platform.
Hold on.
Oh, they don't own the IP. Microsoft owns the distribution rights, though.
Yes.
This is a case of the Spider-Man, Sony, Disney.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I found something else. As Metro points out, Microsoft owns the Ori property, which means that MoonStudio will probably have to stray from its beloved woodland creature if this game is multi-platform private divisions wheeling. That's weird because this is from Destructoid as well. It sounds. But if it's similar, then it sounds like the Sega deal with Bayonetta.
They wanted to put it on PlayStation. Microsoft said no. That's why Xbox never bought MoonStudio. MoonStudio wanted to go multi-platform.
No, here's the thing.
That's the only.
Here's the thing. No, I do believe there is some sense of that Microsoft realized these guys might have been assholes at the time and didn't want to buy them. But here's the thing. Like I said, here's the thing you both failed to remember was the time that this happened. This is before Microsoft decided. This was before Game Pass. This was before. This is before Microsoft's mandate was world fucking domination. You kind of got to remember that.
So,
like, there was a
so
different...
they should have been focusing on talent then, because you need talent.
No, but it isn't a case of talent because at that time they weren't. Again, you got to remember, Omar. In the Xbox One generation, there was two mindsets. There was the all-in-one entertainment box aspect, and then there's Phil Spencer, which again, Phil Spencer's mandate. Whether you, and I will stick by my guns when I say this. Phil Spencer's fucking goal is world domination. He will become a supervillain if we do not keep him in check. And this falls in before, I believe, Phil Spencer's mandate of world domination. Before he started eating up studios like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. So the time frame doesn't actually fit that. They would have gone out of their way to purchase a studio, where now they're in the mindset of they will go out of their way to purchase a studio if they can get enough return equity from it and enough talent from it, like Bethesda, like Activision Blizzard, like some of the like Ninja Theory. Like it's a difference in perspective. It's a difference in priorities between when they could have bought MoonStudio to now.
Dante, one more thing. Like it also, I'm just reading this. It also says like the founders actually were making like personal attacks against like Xbox teams. Like they also intentionally burned their own fucking bridges. Like I'm not gonna give y'all fucking money now. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. Wow.
To me, it's just so obvious why Xbox didn't. Like you don't even have to acquire them, right? You could have just continued like an exclusive, whatever.
Yeah, they didn't even want to do that.
Yeah, they want to do that.
Microsoft, not PlayStation, MoonStudio wanted to put Ori on PlayStation. Microsoft said no. Like, MoonStudio wanted more people to play the game. Microsoft said no. They barely were able to put it on Switch. Microsoft thought, yeah, because Switch is inconsequential when it comes to the whole console situation. But
I love how you brought it round to a console war.
No, this is literally in the article that I read. Because of fanboys, they didn't put it on PlayStation. Here, let me see if I can. It's a snippet of the actual article. I need to look it up what the actual article is. But I read the article back then.
Oh, side note, Ghostwire Tokyo is currently sitting at a 75 Metacritic score with 68 reviews. I get the feeling it might reach an 80 by the time we get to 100 reviews. 100 reviews, yeah. Because I'm just seeing this. This is what I fucking hate. I'm going to point this out just while Jube is doing some research on whatever he's researching in Omar. I fucking hate the new Twitter. Because I'm seeing posts from people I don't even follow, just out of general, just like, why would I want to see? I'm getting Xbox tweets about Xbox through whatever the fuck this is from Persona Speaks. I don't even follow this guy. I don't even know who the fuck
if you hit the star thing, star thing will change it. I think to people only that you follow. You see the little like star at the top. Try hitting that and see if that changes.
View content, see latest tweets. Thank you, Kofi. You have just saved my fucking sanity.
Dante.
Yeah.
Moon does not own the Ori IP.
Yeah, no, that's what I was looking at. I realized.
Yeah, Microsoft really has no incentive to but they can literally just hire whoever they want to work on it.
Yeah, no, they could. And with Ori, like I would turn around and say though, with Ori, if you wanted to continue that, you'd want the original devs who were familiar with it.
But you could also poach. You could also poach those devs though. You don't have to buy the whole studio. You could literally be like, hey, would you guys want to come over and?
But again, that depends on the contracts they're under.
Yeah.
like maybe they couldn't post them. They'd have to wait probably like 4 years for their contracts to run up or to come up for renewal.
I mean, but then again, those they could also leave. I mean, they do have a deal with Private Division. Is that deal as lucrative as the Microsoft deal? Maybe
Probably
not.
No,
So,
like these Private Division's only fucking noteworthy game I know off the top of my head is Ollie.
Yeah, so it's like paychecks are being affected. You feel me? Like, yeah, whatever new IP they're working on, they're not getting as much money as they did when they worked on Ori. So I mean, that could be a side. People could just leave.
The end of this, because this next topic is going to be the last one, and god damn it, this one's going to be a heated one. Oh, I take that back. No, they do have another. What they do actually have. I do take that back though. Just a little jab at Private Division. They are also the guys behind fucking Hades. They are the guys who published Hades.
What?
Yes,
they published the Outer Worlds too. So I
found the article. So what he said is, I get this is also one of the main reasons why we decided to make our next game with Private Division instead of Microsoft. Mahler wrote, "We always got so many gamers saying that they love Ori, but hate that they can play it on PlayStation. Well, why not? Because it was funded by Microsoft, hence they call the shot. Luckily, we got Microsoft to allow us to port Ori to the Nintendo Switch, but that didn't come for free, and they probably only allowed it because the title was small enough and not cause any fuss. Any fuss. So basically, any fuss with the console war. They were afraid, genuinely afraid. Of console war.
Any fuss is basically the fact that there is a distinct difference, and I've said this multiple times. There is no console war between. There is no console. God damn it! You got me saying console war. Nintendo sits in its own unique position that neither PlayStation nor Xbox will ever penetrate, and that is the handheld market. They have
They can't.
As much as Jubei and Pharaoh suck its dick, xCloud will not penetrate the handheld market and take away much from Nintendo, because Nintendo has that shit on lock. PlayStation couldn't do it, and Xbox will not be able to do it. They have their niche.
But the thing is, the point of xCloud is never to take away hardware market share. So it's not supposed to do that.
No.
It's
but
not supposed to do
here's the
that.
thing. But it will take away time share, which let's be fair, even if it doesn't take away hardware shares, it will take away time shares, because the time that people are looking at xCloud is the time they're not looking at the Switch.
It depends on what games are on xCloud. I mean, if a game is attractive enough and it's available to a consumer, they're gonna play it. It's not a matter of taking it away from the Switch, though. It's just,
all right.
If there's games that I want to play, people go where games are, and if the games are easily accessible,
okay, so let's move on to the last topic.
I told you so. I was right.
It's not a console one.
No, I was genuinely right. I never meant it as a console war.
So long as we can move on to the next topic, I'll let you live in your little delusion. You were right, but this is something you were actually right about. This is actually something that I cannot even disagree that you're actually right about. No, I wasn't even defending this. I wasn't on any stance. I go where the fucking facts are, because that's who I am. I don't let my emotions cloud my judgment. I am not a Sith. I am a Jedi. And that is that there has been a mass exodus from the initiative, Xbox's quadruple A studio. So, in a recent article, Xbox Studio, the initiative, has lost approximately half of its main development team, including a handful of senior employees, as per for the new report from VGC. According to the information from LinkedIn, around 34 staff members have left the company in the last 12 months, including game director Dan Hamburger, design director Drew Merry, the principal world builder Joyan Myers, among other senior members. The studio saw multiple exits across other disciplines, including writers, directors, engineers, and QA staff, also leaving in the year. Speaking to VGC, former employees described the departures as fast and furious and said that the momentum of ongoing projects was heavily affected. Several ex-employees have described the initiative's hierarchy as a top-down environment, with studio head Daryl Gallagher and Neuberger controlling a lot of creative decisions. According to the outlet, staff were furious and didn't feel heard on key issues surrounding development. The team also said that it was surprised at Microsoft's leniency towards the studio's lack of progress as a result. One former member said, "Making games is hard enough, let alone when you feel like you don't get enough get through to people making the decisions that affect everyone." Some of the departures took place in September last year, around the time that the initiative partnered with Crystal Dynamics to create the reboot of Perfect Dark. "It's no small task to build a studio and reinvent a beloved franchise," said Gallagher, speaking to VGC. "It's creating the initiative we set out to leverage code development partnerships to achieve our ambitions. And we're really excited about all the progress we're seeing through our relationship with Crystal Dynamics. In this journey, it's not uncommon for there to be staffing changes, especially during a time of global upheaval over the last 2 years, and there's plenty of work to front for us to deliver a fantastic Perfect Dark experience from other people, for other players." And Rick Kofi, by the way. So here's the thing. Fucking COVID being blamed again. I'm fucking getting sick and tired of COVID being blamed.
I don't think COVID.
No, they are blaming COVID. The upheaval over the last 2 years. They are like one of the things they are attributing this to is COVID, which I find
that bullshit.
I find absolute bullshit. Is because
hold on. Maybe because of working at home made it even more difficult for company. Because
no, that I would understand.
Let me explain.
No, but you interrupted me. Just to understand that, you interrupted me.
Okay, go ahead.
Right? No, it's bullshit, because here's the thing. You can look at the last 2 years. Nobody has suffered this kind of exodus in any other studio, to my knowledge, other than the initiative in the last 12 months.
And Halo.
And Halo didn't even suffer this much. This amount of people.
It did.
No.
Well,
they didn't lose half of their staff. No, they didn't.
No, they did.
It just had one of its key developer leaving, and it made them crash. Well, basically, yeah.
Do you mind just researching that for me? Because I know for a fact that half of the goddamn team from 343 did not fucking leave.
Half of 343.
They didn't leave. No. They didn't leave. Except one big dude left. And
one big dude is not the same as this story, though.
Yes, this story is talking about half of the fucking team leaving in the space of 12 months.
Yeah, I have something to add to that their size in a minute, but I'll let you.
Yeah. Now here's the thing.
I'll let you off for a second.
Yeah, thank you. So here's the thing. I find it bullshit they're calling the blaming COVID, but for the simple reason is there is many other studios out there that have been pushing through to make games and working from home that have not suffered any kind of losses like this. Okay, not just that, but if this list I have right here is to be believed, many of these developers have gone back to their original goddamn fucking studios, or studios under the umbrella of the same company that they were just under. So, ex-dev from Naughty Dog left and joined Insomniac. One of them returned back to Insomniac. One of them returned back from Naughty Dog. One of the dudes from Santa Monica Studios went to Naughty Dog. Another one left for Riot. Another one went to SMS. One went back to. I think he just left. I don't think he went back. Even some Crystal Dynamic guys have left. As well.
Only to be right back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of them left. One of the dudes from Insomniac who left for the initiative went back to the fucking Insomniac. But no other game developer has suffered this kind of fucking exodus at this many levels in the last 12 months, let alone the last 2 years, to my knowledge. So first of all, I call bullshit on that. But here's the thing: with this kind of exodus, and with what I'm reading from this, it's clear that now the initiative realizes that they are short-handed. So I'm feeling like that's why Crystal Dynamics has been brought in, is to alleviate some of the pressure they are feeling from half of their damn studio leaving. Like that. And that's not even going into the reasons why people left. Like, if you set, like, the initiative looks like it was set up half-assed, because like if you've got people there that you hired, like you literally took them from you hired them from other studios because apparently they're the best of the best in their field, which is what everybody keeps saying, like the division is made up of the best of the best, but you're not listening to the people you hired. That's an issue. Like, that's a severe fucking issue. If you weren't listening to people you hired to do the job that you're hiring them to do, if they're trying to tell you, bro, this shit ain't working, you're just not listening to them, or this won't work, like, fuck no. Jesus Christ, fucking hell. I mean, looking at these numbers, I mean, it's like fucking Thanos found the Infinity Gauntlet again, snapped half of the studio out of existence. Like, this is not a good look. Like, this really is not. Like, there's no... The facts are, half of the studio is left in 12 months. That is not a good look. They bought in Crystal Dynamic, which, looking at all of this, they were brought on to alleviate the pressure for half their studio leaving now. Stop eating some chips so damn loudly I can hear that. Right, now, Jube, you can now say your piece.
So there's an article from 2019 discussing how the initiative has always intended to remain a very small studio. They're not about numbers. This isn't the 343 situation. Their whole goal is to partner with other studios to get the jobs done. So that's kind of how it is by design. So that's why I'm not necessarily too worried about departures with them or their staffing size, because this studio was made to partner with a bigger studio to achieve whatever the fuck they're trying to do.
Okay.
I mean, Crystal Dynamics only came up because the 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
3 years. So this is the thing. So it was already, there was a precedent stating that they were already going to be a tiny studio as it is, and they were going to work with other people. And Crystal Dynamics is on board because head of initiative happened to also be at Crystal Dynamics at some point. He headed Crystal Dynamics. Of course, he was going to go to his old guys to help out with his new studio, at least with this initial project. But the studio is designed to be small and work with other studios.
I will concede that point. I will concede that point if that was the mandate from the beginning.
So why did
Let me finish.
quadruple A the studio?
We I don't even want to get into the quadruple A shit was a typo, and that's already been stated. Here's the thing. It doesn't fucking matter.
On a video.
Omar, they're a tiny studio. That's a single A studio. They partner with a triple A studio like Crystal Dynamics. That's quad A. I mean, like I shouldn't have to lay it out there for you. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. I told you there's an article from 3 years ago that said, hey, they're tiny. They're supposed to be tiny. They're not a studio of scale. If they require scale, they are going to enlist help for said scale. That has been the whole idea since the beginning.
Okay,
and AAA is all about budget.
And AAA is all about budget.
I'm hitting the mute button. I'm hitting the fucking mute button.
Because who gives the budget to be able to work? Who's paying Crystal Dynamics? Microsoft is. That's a budget. They have to pay that entire studio to help out with whatever the fuck they're helping
over the mute. Right, can I get my point now? Because I just want to. Yeah. I just wanted to get to your point before I was so rudely interrupted by Omar. I will concede the fact that they work with other studios. If that was their mandate from the beginning, I will concede that. But I'm curious about because like the idea that they're working with other studios. Does it say in how big of a capacity? Because it wouldn't surprise me if it was like, okay, we're gonna have like half of Crystal, like the original mandate was stop, mute yourself if you're gonna eat them chips.
Ain't me.
You're eating and we can hear it down the microphone and it's grating in my damn ears. Anyway.
Whoever I was.
So anyway, yes. It would not surprise me if the original... It was the original mandate when they were at full strength. Okay, we're gonna work with half of Crystal Dynamic. If that was the original mandate. But now...
They never specified that. They said that it's going to be a very tight team focused on innovating in game development.
Yeah, I know.
Which means,
but that's
that's a very blanket term. Like,
yeah,
what is tight team? That could be 5 people.
Yeah,
that could be very.
But now I'm wondering, with this Max Exodus, has that now been bumped up to like all of Crystal Dynamic helping? Because there's a big giant gap they need to fill in. Because here's the thing: even though, like, I agree, they clearly were trying to start. They were clearly wanting to remain small. I don't think they wanted. I don't think they wanted to be only 34 fucking staff small. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to partner with other studios, I guess you're partnering with that studio for a reason to provide manpower that you don't have.
Yeah, you're partnering with manpower, but like you need the senior staff to manage all of those departments that you are hiring on, which they don't have anymore because they went from.
But here's the thing: you have the former head of Crystal Dynamics at the head of the initiative. Do you really need other head staff when you used to run that fucking studio before you left that studio to start this one?
Yeah, because then
I say you don't, because now you're literally reaching out to old friends to help you with whatever you're working on there.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree there, because
with this particular, like I said, I'm not worried about this particular project because of who the partner studio is and who the head of the initiative is.
See, again,
if it was anybody else, Gallagher has a history with Crystal Dynamics because he used to head it, so he doesn't need help. He doesn't need help running the Crystal Dynamics side because he just came from there.
Man,
he understands.
I wouldn't care if he's I don't care if he's the fucking former pope. I wouldn't trust him to run all world religions.
Okay, well, he ran the whole studio himself, so I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say.
Because now, not only are you adding because how long ago was it that he was the head of Crystal Dynamic?
For Tomb Raider, bro.
Which Tomb Raider?
The initiative started in 2018. He came in 2018. When did the last Tomb Raider come out?
That's what I want to find out, because I
are you talking about Shadow of Tomb Raider?
Probably, because here's the thing. My thing is how many new faces are in Crystal Dynamic now? Because not only does he have to head down.
So he was with Crystal Dynamics from 2009 to 2015.
Right, so that was actually before. So I guarantee, and Crystal Dynamic has grown since then. So
possibly,
now, I guarantee you they have. So now that's a much larger studio than what he was used to, with a lot of new fresh faces he doesn't know. On top of all the people from the initiative, all 34 of them, that he's now got to head down. Who all of those people are there to be seniors over certain divisions. So it's more of a pyramid scheme where you've got a senior music engineer who's going to be heading up the music department, who then reports directly to Gallagher, and Gallagher's kind of dictating, playing puppet master with all these all these seniors as they are managing the juniors, so to speak. Like that seemed like they said, that's how the initiative was set up, was to be top down. So Gallagher, seniors, and the devs. Like, that's how they said that the initiative was made to be. But you've just lost half of the workforce that you were supposed to be working, who you were supposed to be working through to work with these other devs. So, like, what I'm saying is, that is a big chunk. Like, I don't know how much this is going to impact the game. I don't, because I don't know who left. Like, give me a second. Who exactly left? Because I didn't. Fuck it, I got rid of the goddamn fucking thing. Because like I know lead designers left. I know creative environments people left. Like, these are people they hired because they were the best in their field. They knew about it, which I guarantee you, Gallagher doesn't know everything about what goes into making great music, what goes into making great level design, what goes into making great environment design, and all of that. That's what all of these people were hired to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, his job was to manage these people, and they were literally the fucking mouths of God, giving onto the peasants the word of God, basically.
But it also says the resignation timeline coincides with when Crystal Dynamics had announced its involvement. Like, we're just now hearing about the departures, but because the studio hasn't said shit, like, these people could have been long gone, like, year before, like, it literally said within the last 12 months. But when did they say they brought on Crystal Dynamics? Like, maybe the leadership wasn't expecting them to be, hey, we're going to bring on Crystal Dynamics to help with this, and people took offense to that. I mean, we don't know their reasons for leaving.
Yeah,
that's a missing piece in this.
I mean, the reasons were stated here that they were frustrated and didn't feel heard.
Because every single person that left all feel that way.
Content outlet staff were frustrated and didn't feel heard on key issues surrounding development.
Staff is a very general term. If 3 of those people felt that way, they can still say staff.
The team was
everybody that left all feel the same way?
So let me read it all out for you again. Speaking to VGC, former employees described the departures as fast and furious. And
how many former employees? Oh, this is like fucking taking a poll. Like,
I don't know because
you have to know the exact. Nobody knows. That's why I'm like, why is
they don't give away their sources? Because if they give away their sources, they basically make these fucking people nigh unemployable because they're giving away all of this shit.
We don't know. They could still say former employees, and they talk to 3 people. We don't fucking know.
Let me continue because this, like I said, this goes towards what I'm saying about the loss of senior management. Who were clearly hired because they were excellent in their field, having an effect. Because this is what he said. Okay. The former employees described the departures as fast and furious and said that the momentum of ongoing projects were heavily affected. Several staff members also described the initiative's hierarchy as top-down. Like I said, he's at the top. He dictates the word of God. He is God. The rest of them, the seniors, are his prophets, and they give the word of God onto the people who want to move forward. Hold on, Omar. With studio head Darren Gallagher and Newberger controlling a lot of the creative decisions. Like, those two were the main driving creative, but the seniors had to advise these divisions how they were going to implement this vision. Because these guys had the idea but didn't know how to implement it, which is why these seniors were seemingly hired so that they could implement the vision.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Then it goes, according to the outlet, staff were frustrated and didn't feel heard, which goes with a lot of what these there's a lot of senior members. So clearly, these ideas that these guys had might not have been working. They tried to tell them, and they were like, "I don't care, make it work." That actually fucking happened with Mass Effect Andromeda as well. On key issues surrounding development, the team also said it was surprised by Microsoft's leniency towards the studio's lack of progress as a result.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Once they started the Yubei entire argument of how the studio was meant to be small. Like, you can have a small studio, but you're not gonna lose a lot of work because of your people leaving. You're gonna have to be prepared for people leaving to have other people join in just in time to take someone else's place. You're not gonna waste time, money, management, just because of being small studio. No company would ever sign up on that.
No,
they hired Crystal Dynamics because there was already issues with the fucking hierarchy. People are already upset with the top-down part of it, and that's why I'm like, well, if you're gonna leave, we're gonna need some help. So.
I think I know how this is supposed to work. I think I know how the studio is meant to actually work, thinking about it. They're not meant to make games themselves. So they they're
the creative behind it. Like they're not actually doing.
They're not the ones who actually make the game. They're the guys you They're the guys you attach like the fucking the 32X onto the Genesis to make it even more powerful. Like
now in English, please.
Okay, so you take the Initiative, who is basically nothing but seniors who are the best in their field at music, art direction, environment design, AI, stuff like that, and then you attach them to any other studio that you want, and they are basically the puppet masters who control the devs of that team into creating a new game.
I understand that.
That's what I said.
I understand.
But here's the thing: if that's how it's meant to work, losing half your goddamn staff is a big, massive blow.
It is. But we need this game to come out. Like I said, we don't know everybody's reasons. Again, seeing the word staff, but not having a number attached to that.
Hold on. Here's the problem, though. Like, for all the game, we don't know when the game's meant to be released. So the problem you face right now is the argument that you could make right now to me is if the game comes out in like fucking 3 years, or 4 years, and it's fucking amazing, you'd be like, oh, there was no need to worry. The problem though arises is how long did those release it, or did those exits delay the game? Could it delay the game? Could it have delayed the game by 2 whole years? Could we have gotten the game 2 whole years earlier if none of these issues and exits happened?
Exactly.
It could come out amazing, but we could have gotten this excellence much earlier.
Exactly. So
when you're rolling like 40 studios deep, you're not really worried about that.
So when people say that,
hold on. The problem is Pharaoh. That's great and all, but they already fucking announced the game. So now, how long are people going to have to wait, and how long until expectations?
I mean, how much have we said as a group though that we don't mind delays as long as the game comes out good? You can't have both ways.
I agree, but there's a difference. There's a difference between acceptable length and Duke Nukem Forever.
So,
we haven't even come close to Duke Nukem Forever.
I'm making an exaggeration to make my point. I don't want to wait 6 years for this game, because by that time I'm going to be balls deep in so many other games. Omar, make your goddamn point. Go ahead.
Yeah, so at the very end, you're not going to waste time, energy, and everything else in between just because you're a small studio. If you have contractors that joining in and leaving, let's say the next Monday, before the next Monday, you would have a different person come in, join in, being vetted and told, okay, this is the job that you're gonna take over. This is where we at right now, and this is where you're gonna continue. But we are not seeing that. What we are seeing is the job that people have worked on, that's gone. That's hampering development time. No company would ever sign on that.
Okay, you've kind of... I'm sorry, you kind of lost me like halfway through that. I don't know what point you're trying to make. Am I the only person here? If I'm the only person here who's like lost in what point he's trying to make, I'll shut up, but I'm lost here.
What I mean by that is when they said that what's called this studio is supposed to be small and stay small, and that's why you're seeing many people leave.
No. The people are leaving they're leaving because of the structure of the initiative.
Yeah,
they're not leaving because it's small. They're leaving because of the structure.
That's what I'm trying to explain to Jubei. Because he said that this studio was always meant to be small.
I'm not worried about the departures because they're meant to be a small studio.
Well,
I didn't say that they were leaving because they were meant to be small. I'm saying that the departures don't bother me if this studio was designed to function as a tiny studio in the first place. Is that going to delay them in some regards? I'm pretty sure. But with, again, I don't know the reason for everybody leaving. Nobody knows the reason for everybody leaving. They could have left for money. I mean, it could have been a lot of things. Or
But
maybe he's
that's
like,
the
hey,
thing.
I contributed this. I don't really have much else to contribute. Here you go. I'm out. Like, you don't fucking know. Like, we don't know. So I'm saying that, oh, they're only leaving because they're meant to be small. Like, that's not what I said. I said, I'm not bothered because they're meant to be small. So the departures don't bother me in the same way that it's bothering you guys.
No. That's not what's bothering me. I get the fact they're going to be small. I actually get the structure they're going with. My concern is you hired these people for a reason because they're the best.
Right. Yeah, and I get that. And like I say, I'm not arguing against that. It's just I'm just not as worried about it.
My main worry is who do you replace them with? Like, because it feels like you hired these people because they're the best. You just bring in the second best. Like what? How do you restructure this and address the problems? Because right now, I think the biggest thing right now that should be the biggest concern, even for you, Jubei, is are they going to address the issues that have made half the team leave, or are we going to have to wait for the team to get cut down by half again until you get worried?
Good question.
Because
I mean,
if like I said, there are 34 people right now. If that gets cut down again, there are 17 people in the initiative. And yeah, okay, they're meant to function small. I don't think they're meant to I don't think they're meant to function that damn small, especially when they're supposed to be the figureheads of divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point for you does it? Because they need to address these issues. Because if these issues do not get addressed, it's a possibility that we might see more people leave in the next 12 months. At what point for you?
I mean,
at what point? I'll
say in 12 months, if they lose half their staff again, there's an issue. I'll be more concerned about it.
Okay. I just
I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not concerned about it right now.
Okay.
Also, with
because Crystal Dynamics is handling most of the work on this project. They're getting creative consulted from whoever the fuck is at Initiative, and
Okay, I just wanted to gauge the barometer of whereabouts the worry starts for you. That's all.
Also, who is going to agree to join the studio when he see the clusterfuck that's what's happening right now?
Again, nobody knows people's reasons for fucking leaving.
And
you cannot tell me with 100% certainty that the reason that that half the people left was for the exact same fucking reason. You can't tell me that. Well, the dude that was pretty much Gallagher's right-hand man also left. Why did he leave when he had just as much control as Gallagher did? That's an unexplained thing. Nobody fucking knows why he left. Why would he leave when he's in the position of power?
In all fact, Jubei.
But what if he was part of the reason why people were leaving, and so he also opted out to not cause any further? We don't fucking know.
We need to find out when he left. Was he the first to leave, or was he the third to leave? Because I feel like the time frame of when people who was the first and last person to leave would make sense. If he was the last person to leave, maybe he was just jumping ship because he felt like this was a sinking ship. But if he was the first to leave, then maybe this is an exodus that followed him.
No, he left this year. So
he left.
He left in 2022. He's a recent left. He left February.
Right. So
he left last month. So he's the last person to leave.
Right, so then this seems more like then this does raise questions on why. All I know is the way they described it as fast and furious departures makes it seem like there's not the same reason, but a connected reason to why people are leaving. Which,
but with him being the last to leave, we don't know what if it was him. Or you know what I'm saying? I mean, we'll know in another year's time. If more people's time, now that the other guy's out, if more people leaving, then we know it's Gallagher. That it's gonna be on his head. But if his right hand dude that he shared the responsibility of heading this, he apparently the game director and the studio head were pretty much the two top dogs when it came to doing things. So if we're still seeing an exodus after the game director also leaves, this could have been hey, I've been vouching for you and people have been leaving. I can't vouch for you no more. This is all going to come out at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Did he leave or did Microsoft fire him?
He left.
So if he was the issue,
But
would
here's the
have
thing:
No,
you can
No, but-
voluntarily resign. That you're still being fired, but it won't say that you're fired. You left. You resigned.
Last thing I'll say before I let Pharaoh and Zero, those poor motherfuckers, just being silent over there while
And
the three of us
Kofi.
argue. Kofi's not here.
Oh, so he's the one that left. Okay.
Yes, I said he
okay,
was.
Gotcha.
Fuck me, you interrupted me and I lost my goddamn point now. Thanks. Pharaoh, what are your thoughts on all of this?
I just see it as a situation where you have a bunch of people there, you're establishing your own culture, and sometimes when you're establishing culture like that, you have those type of things happen. Like I'm not seeing it as the worst thing ever.
God damn it.
You're compiling a whole, like, they went out and they got the best people that they could from a bunch of different studios. Well, all those
Doesn't
studios
mean that everybody was going to gel and agree.
Yeah, all those people that from those different studios all work differently, for better or worse. So with that being the case, you're gonna have like people butt heads and have disagreements on how things should be done and things like that. And I think that's where that exodus comes from, is when you have a bunch of people who have their own way of doing things. They had their own culture, and they're trying to infuse that into this new studio. The hardest thing to do is to start a new studio. That's why we don't see a lot of new studios get created from these big, from Xbox and PlayStation. Like, we don't see a bunch of new studios come from them. They acquire studios at this point because it's a difficult thing to do. So, I just see this as them kind of building a culture and kind of dealing with that. Like, I think it'll be water under the bridge after this first game is done. I think they'll kind of have a culture and a rhythm and a tempo and a way of doing things. We're just watching the birth of a studio and kind of that pruning process of developing your talent and how you want to work and your processes and all that other stuff.
Zero, your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily. Well, I will view it in a
You
more
don't
positive light.
out there.
Oh god, is it? Oh
No, I mean, I
let
listen to you
people
guys.
talk.
But I'm not particularly on the side of doom and gloom. But I am aware, I guess, of cautious of what's happening in this space. All this came out from the article, and so like I'm just taking the article at its word, as sort of face value, because it seemed pretty well researched. So it seemed to be a culture problem, a management problem, where it seemed to be a top-down management style, where those who were creatives didn't really feel like their voice were heard. And if you're a creative, that's the worst thing ever. Like, why am I creating anything if nobody's going to hear me? So like, if you don't want to be a part of that, then you sort of up and leave. Then of course they bring in Crystal Dynamics, who, at least as far as I understand, has already an understanding of the culture because the two guys are very close. So they already understand the sort of management style. What worries me is that perhaps they did not change the style and they just brought in people who fit them, which could be good, could be bad. But in my head, whenever creative voice isn't heard, that's not a good thing. But positively thinking, this is now an opportunity for the initiative, Crystal Dynamics, to like set the ship straight. I think it's fair to say Perfect Dark is probably going to undergo some sort of soft reboot at this point. So it will probably be quite some time until we see Joanna Dark in her full glory, which doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just means we'll be waiting a lot longer to see her. How long that's going to be, I have absolutely no idea. Certainly we don't want to wait too long, but like if we're still waiting for Metroid, we will certainly still be waiting for Perfect Dark.
I mean, realistically, didn't we always consider this like a 2025, 2026 game anyway?
I saw this more 2024, 2025, yeah, for me.
Yeah, same. Although, I would have personally liked for 2023, because like they could have just dropped this. Eventually all those studios that Xbox has are going to start dropping games left and right. So I would have certainly liked for Perfect Dark to be in that mix. But I mean, again, we saw nothing from this game other than a CGI trailer.
Yeah, that was and that, by the way, that was December 11th, 2020. So, that was that'll be 2 years ago today. So, 2023, 2024 would have been my initial release window, and I feel like that would have been reasonable because, like, you first announced the game, and then you, especially with a CG trailer, then we get the game like 3-4 years later, which we're closing in on.
Right. So now, most likely, maybe it could push back to 28. I don't know, but I don't know how Xbox views these things. But I guess if I'm Xbox, I'm looking. Well, listen, it sucks that Perfect Dark isn't coming out necessarily when we wanted it to, but we've got these 23, 20, however many other studios that's going to be dropping things. We can afford to let one go back. And as much as I adore Perfect Dark, let's keep it 100 here. It is a great game, but it is not exactly like the second coming. No. And GoldenEye would be. And just because on name alone, even though arguably Perfect Dark is the better game, but there's probably a whole bunch of people who don't know the name of the alien from Perfect Dark, but can name you every
Elvis.
character in GoldenEye.
Elvis.
And so it's like Perfect Dark's wonderful. It's not going to make or break Xbox, I think, in any super meaningful way.
It's just a nostalgia game.
Yeah. For me, this whole Perfect Dark thing is, at least to me, I'm not picking on the initiative initially just for this. Like a lot of companies do this, and only one fucking company, one person has ever admitted that they did it too early, and that was Final Fantasy fucking 7 Remake. When they admitted they fucking announced that game too early. Like, I hate when a game is announced and then you have to wait 7 fucking years for it.
Right.
Like, Cyberpunk did it, and I will never forgive them for it. Duke Nukem did it, and we waited how fucking long? Aliens Colonial Marines did it. Give me a fucking trailer when we're like a year or two out.
I mean, The Witcher just got announced.
Yeah, Witcher 4 literally just got fucking announced, and I'm like,
who knows where we're gonna see that game?
And that's my point.
We might not see that game for a whole nother 10 years because of stuff like that. So I agree, and I get it. Perfect Dark is nice and splashy to throw out there, but I don't think it'll be the worst thing. The quadruple A studio thing, that's just marketing speak because no one actually knew what that meant. Like, no one could give me a definition on what that stood for. So, whatever the problems that they're having are problems that they're having.
And then, I'd like to point out, again, like I had to last time, Microsoft were not the first ones to coin it. Ubisoft were.
Yeah, and again, no one gave a definition to what that is.
Yep.
Like, everyone keeps throwing it in their face, but no one can tell me what that means.
It's just a buzzword at this point.
Yeah. Conception, because Pharaoh hit the nail on the head. The A's are based off budget, right? So, if we take the most expensive, at one point, I think Destiny was one of the most expensive games ever developed.
Yeah.
But that was still AAA. So theoretically, however much money Destiny took to develop, would you have to triple, double, quadruple it? Again, it's a moot point because it doesn't really matter because no one has a definition for this buzzword term.
Is it not easy to understand? Like Farrell said it, the AAA just means you're putting way more much money into it. Is it quadruple A just not a lot more money than into it?
So we have to look at what's the
most expensive game being developed right now?
So I would quivy it to all right. So Jim Ryan said it costs about $200 to $300 million to make a AAA game, right? So if this is quadruple A, they're spending $400 to $500 million to make a game.
Yep,
that's kind of how I would kind of
excessive. Even for a Perfect Dark game, I'm sorry, that's fucking excessive.
Yeah, for that amount of money.
And as I look at it, at least according to this wiki, so blah, Cyberpunk was $174. That's the most development cost. Star Citizen is apparently $339, but that's still not considered a quadruple A.
No, that's crowdfunded as well.
Right. So now we have to. Oh, go ahead.
I would say that we don't see quote unquote quadruple A. You know, I don't see quadruple A being a thing until we start seeing fully like cloud based games where you have like worlds that are just so massive that it requires thousands of people to work on a game and that type of budget.
I disagree. That's the reason we'll get it. The reason I feel like the reason we'll get quadruple A games and is when cloud service games become the norm and you have to pay a rent to play your games, because then they can just milk the fuck out of it. That's when we'll start getting.
Yeah, but I'm saying when the cloud games get so big, that's when you're going to start seeing.
It won't have anything to do with scale. In my opinion, it won't have anything to do with scale. It will just be because they can throw more money at a game because they know they'll make it back because your ass is going to pay that monthly fucking $20 subscription.
True.
Yeah, it's so again, there's never been any hardline rules about these things. Like people just sort of assume based on however they feel about it. So like I probably shouldn't have brought it up because there's no reason to, completely honest. So you know, the initiative, it sucks for this creative perspective, and like I hope that they can steer the ship right. I do not think at the moment it's the worst thing in the world. It is troubling. But for Xbox, you have a bunch of studios to fall back on. Like, I think they'll be fine, right? Like, we've just had a recent couple games that came out pretty solidly. I know Halo is the only sort of shaky one, but all the other ones seem to be doing all right. Yeah, and they've got new stuff coming, stuff we've never seen. You know, we're coming into video game season during this summer, so we've got a bunch of other stuff that's about to show out. Perfect Dark will be missed, but like it will not ruin the party.
See, like at the moment, I'm only defending them because it seems like they're the only two that seemingly do it. Like it seems like the only two companies out there right now who predominantly only outside of indies, but then again, a lot of indies do it, especially if they're going early access. It seems like the only two fucking studios I can concretely say show a game when it's near release, like when they first show a game when it's close to release, or like when I say close, like a year or two away, is Capcom and PlayStation for the most part.
No, stop it.
No,
PlayStation?
Yeah, Ragnarok was only announced. When was Ragnarok announced? Ragnarok was announced.
28 was announced with the PS5.
No.
When they announced the PS5.
Yes.
2020,
and it's supposedly coming out this year.
No, they announced it when they announced when they first debuted the PS5. So that was like 20.
I'm looking. I'm looking at the official trailer. God of War Ragnarok teaser trailer. This was the very first full announcement of it. September 16th, 2020.
2019.
Yeah, it was not after the PlayStation.
It was teased in 2019, bro. Like if you look up when it was first teased, it was teased in 2019.
Okay. I'm looking at the YouTube. I'm looking at the YouTube upload of the trailer from the PlayStation 5 showcase.
Because here's the thing: the PS5 was teased in 2019. It wasn't teased in 2020, the year it came out. It was teased the year before.
Also, Ragnarok was supposed to come out last year.
It was supposed to come out in 2020.
But because of the
it's supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out the launch year.
Yep.
Supposed to be a launch title.
Not at launch. No, it was supposed to come out last year. But because of Judge, they had to postpone it to this year.
Okay, so...
it was originally teased in 2019. We're looking at 3 years ago.
Right, hold on. Okay, I'm looking at a lot of videos. And hold on, are you looking at the God of War?
No, you're looking at the specific God of War teaser trailer. They said Ragnarok was coming at the very end of the showcase where they showed the PS5 September 16th of 2019. When they first even said that the PS5
they showed Horizon. They showed Horizon at the same show.
You're talking about.
They showed Horizon. They showed God of War, and they showed Ratchet and Clank all at the same show. That's when they first showed all three games.
PlayStation, the PlayStation 5 event live stream.
When was the reveal for the PlayStation 5?
The reveal event, June 11th, 2020.
That was what it looked like. When they announced the PS5 is going to happen, it was in 2019, my friend. I have the link.
Go on, send me the link. Send me the link. Send me the link.
You're killing me, bro.
Hold up. Horizon Forbidden West was the last game to be revealed at the PlayStation event. That's it. No,
so you don't remember the Omega symbol that said Ragnarok was coming? That wasn't a teaser trailer. It was just a fucking picture. That was it. That was at the very end of the fucking showcase. I remember it because we watched it.
Yeah,
we can go back and listen to the fucking show.
Hold on. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at on the official IGN website. That's the Omega, because at the end it says Ragnarok is coming 2021, and this was uploaded by IGN on September 16th, 2020.
Try again.
I will show the stream. It says right there on the.
I just sent you a link. Okay, go ahead and check out the link. Whatever you say is wrong, so it doesn't matter.
Where's the link? Did you send it on Discord or Twitch?
Yes, Discord. I sent it directly to you.
Can you put it on screen? Because I want to watch it.
It definitely showed like in June.
It showed in 2019, bro.
The only announced God of War Ragnarok was actually first teased back in 2019. The PlayStation 5 exclusive was announced at the end of Sony's September 16th PlayStation 5 showcase. See, that date lines up with the live stream that I found.
Keep going. Scroll down.
Yeah, that's the IGN one I was just looking at. Hold on.
I'm gonna kick the shit out of you, bro. April 2019. There was a Easter egg for Ragnarok talking about, like, it's been talked about, but people didn't realize that's what it was talking about. It was revealed way before 2020.
That doesn't count, though.
That's still 3 years.
They left the fucking breadcrumb. It fucking counts. What the fuck do you mean? Just because it took people a year to figure the shit out. I'm sorry, people are fucking stupid.
The official reveal is when they said.
Well, I'm not talking about official reveal. They teased it.
No, I was.
It was teased before the official reveal. It was teased. I said it was talked about before that. It was talked about before.
But
everybody knew it was God of War when they said Ragnarok is coming.
And clearly there's a cross wire here, because I'm talking about the first official teaser / trailer put out by the companies. I was talking about that because Capcom. When I said Capcom, they did that with Resident Evil 2 in 2018. It came out in 2019. Hold on, give me a sec. I just had the... You got me fucking looking up so much shit. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Released it. Yeah, because that came out in... 25th of January 2019. The first trailer, the reveal of the game, even though it was, again, speculated and everything all but confirmed online kind of thing, the first time it was ever shown was at the PlayStation E3 showcase in 2018. The first official trailer / teaser that was ever actually put out in that regard for Ragnarok was in 2020.
Did Cory Barlog leak that that game was going to happen prior to 2020? The answer is fucking yes. Yes, he did.
But when
they said Ragnarok is coming, we all knew it was God of War.
Cory Barlog doesn't even work on the game.
It doesn't fucking matter. His Twitter fucking account did it. What the fuck do you mean? He teased it.
Yeah.
I seen it. I am fully aware.
So I'm asking Omar, was it teased before 2020 or not? If you say no, I wish I could get on a plane and slap the shit out of you. Because it was.
Because Horizon and God of War were supposed to come out the exact same year in 2021. It was teased.
Yeah, they was meant to come out in 2021. But it was teased before 2020. It was.
They were supposed to be launched. They were supposed to be launch window titles. That's why we had the whole thing with Jim Ryan talking about. That's why we have the whole fiasco that we have right now with the whole you get the PS4 version of for free on Horizon, whatever, PS5. That's why we have that whole situation now. Because they were originally supposed to be launch window titles. That's why Horizon still looks like that's why God of War still looks like a PS4 game.
He deleted that fucking tweet, so I can't look at it.
He fucking did. Because he was teasing it before anybody officially announced. You're not going to tell me he wasn't, because he did. He did. It exists. I don't want to hear fucking hold on. Omar, did it happen or not? Did it happen or not? Did it happen or not? I posted the article already. Did it fucking happen or not?
Let me fucking explain. He did
No,
not.
I want you to read it. I don't want an explanation from you. The question is, did it happen? Did it happen?
Let me fucking explain.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Did it happen?
Hold on. Right, I'll admit, I'll concede that Corey leaked it, whether he was meant to or not, because again, that tweet is
no, he
gone.
didn't meant to. So what he did?
Let me finish. But just so we are clear, Jube, I'm talking when it's officially given an actual teaser/trailer. You understand my point, though. I'm talking about.
we could go back with other big games like Last of Us 2. We could go. You could go. PlayStation.
Give me a sec. Actually, when did The Last of Us 2 get?
Let me know.
You can continue castrating Omar. I just wanted to make sure that we're both clear on what I meant. I was talking more from when an official teaser/trailer is put out by the publisher, not one of the people. I was talking about when it's concrete.
That front as well.
All right.
Here is the thing. Cory Bolong didn't delete that tweet. He actually deleted his entire Twitter. Actually just took time off. He have a habit of doing something like that. Other than that, he actually suckered us all in. He started a small thread where he was discussing about God of War 2018. How much he enjoyed working on the privilege. You know it all the micmac. However, if you so he started a thread and started tweet named number 1, number 2, number 3, all the way to something 13 or 14. If you took the very first letter of every single tweet and you combined it, then it turned into
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is coming. Yeah.
And what year did he post that thread? That's all. Yeah, huh? 19, right?
I'm not. I'm not denying. I won't deny that. I won't deny that he teased it. But I was going purely from the I was going purely from the point of view of when a visual teaser trailer is put out. That's me. Yeah. That's where I stand on it. And by the way, The Last of Us Part 2, 3.5 years
was announced. Yeah, it's still a while because I thought we commented on. We keep seeing the same games at E3.
No,
they're
we did.
Not out.
We did.
that used to be a thing.
That was a problem, but it's still again, it still seems like a long time, and it is. But it is also the difference between 3.5 years to 7 fucking years for Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
that's literally double the fucking. That's literally double the fucking length.
When did they unveil what's called Spider-Man 2? Last year, I think?
Yeah,
I'm expecting Spider-Man to be 2024-25.
I don't think it's close.
Close
in the sense that it's not coming out next year.
No, 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's not coming out next year.
Maybe give it 2 years.
No, I never said. Wait,
I'd say give it 2 years.
24. Probably 24 is a better.
I said 2024. 2024. Yeah. I didn't say 2023. 2023 is next year.
Like, hold on. I would say a kind of a good benchmark would be looking at when the first Spider-Man the first Spider-Man was announced. Give me a second. So
that was I know out my head. That was 2016.
When was that? Did you say?
2016.
You are correct, and it was released.
Spider-Man 2 has to come out sooner. I think it comes out. Holiday 2023.
Again, my point, but again, this kind of enforces what I was saying, like because there was rumors of Spider-Man coming out before this. But again, this kind of leads to my point of Capcom and PlayStation being the ones that seem to officially reveal a game more closer to its release than a lot of other studios. Marvel Spider-Man was 2016. It came out 2 years later.
And they reveal.
Insomniac pumps out. Insomniac is the one studio at Sony that pumps out games fast. So I think that we'll get Spider-Man next year, next holiday.
No.
I mean,
God of
They didn't put a date on it.
Hold on, wait, no, the original God of War. Shut up, Omar! Fuck! The original God of War was the original God of War. The very first trailer that was shown, the gameplay one, was in 2016. It released 2 years later.
But this is not also an Insomniac thing.
My
reveal. He said Insomniac is.
They pump out games fast. Yes, they do.
Timely, I would say more accurately. They pump out games timely.
What was the time frame between Sucker Punch's last game and Ghosts?
2000.
There's a gap.
Infamous
came at the PlayStation.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'll look it up.
Infamous game was released a few months after the PlayStation 4.
No, he's talking about the span between the two games. Alright, give me a second. Fuck's sake, because I'm the only person I'm one of the only people who does research.
Second Son came out in 2014.
Yeah, 2014.
It was a while. I know that.
6 years.
Infamous is the last game they did. That was a while.
It's a while.
6 years.
So Pharaoh saying Insomniac puts out games quickly is correct. It wasn't those 6 years between Insomniac releases.
Ghost of Tsushima was revealed in 2017 and released 3 years later.
No,
Yes.
of Tsushima. No, God of Tsushima.
No, it was. No, it was.
No,
it was. PGW.
Ghost of Tsushima was revealed 2016.
Oh.
With
Well, if it revealed in 2016, that proves my point even more.
Yeah, that's one of those that went a lot longer. Wait, when did it come out?
It came out 2020.
It did come
It
out.
came out right.
It came out.
pandemic.
Fuck me.
It came out during it did.
It did.
It did.
Wow,
It came out 2020.
that felt like that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Ghost of Tsushima came out like 2 fucking years ago. Let that give you an idea.
No, it came out 2020.
Oh, yeah,
That's why it had so much outrage.
It is. It did come out in 2020.
That's why the Icky Island DLC has so much outrage behind it, because people paid full price for that fucking game and had to pay another $30 a year later, where other people only had to pay $10 more than what they had to pay.
As far as
As
far as
but you don't remember how irate I was about that whole
that's why so many fans were upset about it.
Here's the thing,
because the game came out in 2020.
As far as a first reveal, the announced I don't know what 2016 one Omar's talking about. He might need to look this up in his free time. But I'm looking at the official announced trailer for Ghost of Tsushima, which was shown at PGW 2017. It says announced trailer, like this is the announcement of the game. That was in.
It was that 27 E3. The fucking flutes. Like we remember when they showed that damn game.
That was at E3 2018.
They showed it at an earlier event.
No,
yeah,
they did show it before that though.
They showed.
Yeah. The flute was a whole thing, but then
a trailer. This was a teaser. I remember the teaser. I think they showed it with Final Fantasy VII remake.
Teaser. I'm looking on YouTube because honestly, here's the thing. Despite what you think, as far as when videos go up, YouTube is a good barometer of when game trailers get announced, because they immediately get fucking uploaded.
Either 16 or 17.
It was 2017.
It's 17.
So it was
2017. It came out 3 years later. What's the big deal?
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point. Like, it's still closer than a lot of other fucking. That's my whole point. I wasn't saying that that PlayStation or Capcom announced them like immediately before, except Capcom, who seem to have done it with Resident Evil. So
see, I'm not really keeping up with Capcom, but the issue with PlayStation and when they do their reveals is that they just put a date out there that they never really actually.
Yes,
and
no,
their first date is usually not right.
That is true. I will fully fucking give you that. That is a problem with them, and I've actually said that before.
And
but at least,
but it's marketing. It's smart marketing because that date gives hype. Like, oh, we're gonna get this game next year, but then when it's delayed, the hype has already been established.
But
like, oh, it got delayed a year.
My whole point with PlayStation and Capcom when I said that was unlike some of these other devs, like Cyberpunk 2077, we're gonna have to see with Starfield, but I actually no. Wait, when did Starfield first get fucking announced? That's actually a good parameter right there, actually, because fucking Ghostwire Tokyo was reaching a fucking long wait period as well. Actually, when did Ghostwire Tokyo get fucking announced? Because I know it's coming out this week.
It got announced at a PlayStation event, so I think it got announced at the same PlayStation event that God of War and Horizon and Ratchet & Clank got announced at. It all got announced at the same event.
It says 2 years ago, but I swear I've had my pre-order longer than that. But yeah, it was announced 2 years ago.
They were all announced at the same event. All those games were announced at the same event.
Yeah, E3 2009. Well, this one was shown at E3 2019. I remember this being the. No, Ghostwire was announced in 2019 because I recalled this being the.
That was at the Bethesda show. It was teased at a Bethesda show.
Yeah, because this was the very.
Okay.
I recalled this being the very first trailer I actually ever saw with it because it ended. Because it came off more. Because if you recall, actually, because my whole point with it was it came off more as a horror game until the later one when it came off more as an action game, and I was like, I'm confused about this, but I like what I see.
That's a game that I can wait to play. It'll come to me.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, it will come to you on Game Pass. I'm sure it fucking will.
Yeah, all I gotta do is keep clicking for my Microsoft Awards points.
Yeah,
do it right
we are getting Deathloop and Ghostwire next, or we're getting Deathloop this year and
anyway,
Ghostwire next year.
We're getting Ghostwire in like what 6 months? Yeah, 6 months. No, 5 months.
My point is
no, you mean Deathloop, right? Because Ghostwire.
We're getting Deathloop in like
okay, right.
5
Well,
months.
we to end all of this because Pharaoh talking through his microphone is starting to give me a headache because it's so damn loud. That's no fault.
Oh, let me turn my gain down.
Yeah, please turn your gain down. But I think we are at the end of this because we deviated so goddamn far into just a random fucking topic of release dates.
I was wondering why we started there.
I have no idea because I blame Zero for this. I don't know how, but I
better?
blame him.
I blame you.
Hey, I go with the
Great
flow.
show, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh
man.
shit, wrong one.
Any
First
idea
of all,
why?
alright,
Copy left?
outro. Jube, where can people find you?
Yep, find me at Jube X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jube Sensei everywhere else. Come check me out on Twitch at Jube X Sensei. I don't know what game I'm gonna be streaming next, but I do have a review for Tunic in the works, and I need to capture some more B-roll footage, so that should be out in the next couple of days. So
Will it be spoiler free?
I will keep it as spoiler free as I can. Yes.
Nice.
So, I mean, I've already beat the game twice. I need to go in and just start a new game and get some B-roll footage for it. So.
Twice? Does it have any what's called New Game Plus
It does.
trophies?
Yep. No, it does not have New Game Plus trophies.
Okay,
I beat it twice. I don't want to talk about it on here. I can talk about it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
There's a reason why I had to beat it twice. I made a mistake.
And how big is the game?
Wait for the review. Because I'm
Wait,
not waiting.
no.
I'm not waiting any longer for outro. Sparrow, where can people find you?
Yes. Wait for the review.
You can find me on Twitch at Land of Pharaoh, Twitter Pharaoh Bizarre. Just look me up, Pharaoh Bizarre everywhere. I'm sure I'll pop up in some way, shape, or form on Pharaoh Gaming. Get your Microsoft Award points, and get your free game passes and your $10 credits and all that good stuff. Well,
Okay.
that's what I'm doing right now.
You are. Omar, where can people find you?
People can find my Caravan Corchab on Twitter and on Gameplayer every Saturday, either 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. Because of time change, I need to figure out the best time for my show.
Alright, you can find me at Dante Crisis on Instagram and Twitter, the Dante Crisis on Facebook. You can also find me, Dante Crisis, on YouTube, Twitch, and DLive. Currently doing streams of Shin Megami Tensei 5 still, GTA San Andreas Chaos Mod, and Elden Ring. Dragon Age 2 doing Let's Plays of Halo 4 Spartan Ops and Metal Slug 3. And Zero, where can people find you? But more importantly, where can people find us? By the way, doing your outro while you've been gone was actually quite entertaining.
It's fun, right? Like, you just sort of just start talking and you just wing things.
Yep, pretty goddamn much.
Yeah, you just figure out how it goes. But, you know, as always, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you all for listening. As always, you literally could be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us. Or maybe you're doing something else, playing Elden Ring.
Or doing
playing
someone
Street
else.
Fighter. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I personally wouldn't choose us for your background music for, like, doing that, but, like,
we got
Omar
that fire intro. We got that fire intro. Come on. We got the intro. So yeah, put that intro as your background music. Make your ringtone.
But I'm not here to yuck your yums. I'm here to support you. And so if that's what you want, then we will continue to keep talking and doing this. So whoever is out there, keep listening. And we promise we all will get through this together and we all will get, have a good time. But of course you can find me zero.exe pretty much everywhere. I got to change my PlayStation name, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. As always, even though we're here, we exist separately and do our own thing. So I'm just going to repeat, please watch or tune in to Game Slayer with Omar at 5 or 6 on Saturdays. Please hop on Dante Crisis streams. Usually find one of us there, mostly me, until he's playing games that like I can't watch. Like I can't watch his Elden Ring playthrough because I'm playing Elden Ring. So I don't want to be spoiled by anything. But I was there. What was it? Friday? When you played the last Grand Theft Auto?
Oh, that was Wednesday last week.
Yeah, it was Wednesday last week. Had some good Batman talk, so like that was a great time. Please check out Pharaoh Gaming.
We went on that fucking talk for like an hour and a damn half talking about Batman villains.
It was a good hour and a half and a good time to like have it. But most importantly, our wonderful friend Kofi is back in the Twitter space. So I would be remiss if I did not at least direct you guys to please go to his Twitter page. I think
and annoy the hell out of him.
Yeah,
and I think you missed him.
Within 14 days, the Zero Field release of Kurono Kiseki fan translation will be released. So, and I know he's doing some giveaways. So pop on his page, get some of those giveaways. Him and the team have worked really hard for it. So please support them.
And if you really want to get him going, just ask him about what makes Trails of Cold Steel great.
Yes, if you want to like be converted to the church, that is all it. I myself used to be a member until I found a much more promising religion for myself. I won't bring it up now. It feels like bad in taste. What I will say is that it does resemble a
Greek
pretty
mythology.
excellent and if you're a fan of Disney movies and like one of the greatest movies of all time features this character in it, maybe you want to go check it out. Like, I don't know, it's what's cool about it is like it's a Juno award-winning video game, and so like you can really lean into it. There are also 2 actually vinyls that you can get if you're sort of into that thing. But I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to close out. I'm going to end with, as always, guys, we appreciate you and thank you so much.
Yes, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, please keep it gaming. Okay, we out of here. Peace.
It's Hades. The game's
Fuck
called
off!
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G, got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street, and we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.